Ancelotti said to him, I'd love to have someone like that at my club. I'll tell you one of my bonuses, you'll love this. $10,000 goal bonus. You are one of the most talented players I've ever worked with. Kaka was unbelievable. Let me just tell you the tops I got. Totti, Cassano, Buffon, Davids.
Yo, what's going on, people? It's your boy Adebayo The Beast Akinfenwa, and welcome back to another episode of the Beast Mode On podcast. All right, so today's guest, I think he could be the second best individual to come out of Islington because, you know, that's where I raised. All right, don't at me. All right, cool. Listen, no, real jokes, yeah? This guy's story hits different. Came through the Arsenal Academy, made his debut in the Premier League at 18, got an England cap, then picked up his passport and said, there's more to football than just in England. Played in Serie A, Japan top flight, and also the Thai Premier League. So please give a Beast Mode On podcast welcome to my boy, my good friend, Mr. J. Bothroyd. What's going on, brother? Come on. You see that?
I like that.
You see that, bro? Come on, get there.
Yeah, I like that there, bro. I like that introduction, man.
Right,
seriously.
So I know you're about that life when it comes to football, but I also know that, you're about that golf life. So when you play golf, what we want every time you play golf, we want you to know that, when I came on the Beast Mode On podcast, that man showed love. So here, man got a little personalised, right, brother? Got the big J. Bothroyd.
I like that.
Put it over the game. Listen.
Hold on.
Yeah. See, I found out about this.
This is not.
I found out. It's a driver
Drive ahead.
That's because, you know what I'm saying? Because I had to do my research. This is what I like about this, because I had to do my research.
I like this, bruv. This is nice, man.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay. You've set the president now, you know.
Badda.
You've set a president. I've never been on a pod show and got a gift.
Badda. No, we give flowers here on the Beast Mode podcast. We give flowers here.
All right. I'm going to be using this.
All right.
I'm going to be using this one.
All right, cool. Listen, tell me what it's like as a kid in that era at the Arsenal setup, the dealings with the Wengers, who was there. Talk to us about that.
I remember I went in, it was funny because everything was just crisp. Like even then, like you get your new socks, you get your new boots, everything was the kind of given to you on a plate. And I remember they said like to us, listen, you're at the Arsenal now. You need to go and play like it and train like it every day. But the great thing for me is that all the people that was at Arsenal at that time, they all had the same thought process. We was ruthless at Arsenal. I have to say, I wouldn't say it now, but we was ruthless. I was telling referees to fuck off and shut up. And what are you talking about? We was arguing with referees. Referees were booking me at 14 years old. Right? And it was like referees would go to the Don Howe and say, listen, can you tell your players to tone it down? Like David Noble, same, Stacky the same. Because do you know what the thing was? We was watching Arsenal, like Tony Adams, these people on the training ground. Because where we used to play games at London Colney, the first team were training there. And we heard swear words all the time. So it was like, this is normal, right? Yeah. It's just normal. So like we kind of just like said, well, if they can do it, we can do it. So like we was doing that. And I remember we played a game and I think it was against Luton or someone like that. And they had like good young players at the time. So like Luton, even at that time, would kind of try and bring players through. And then the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham would take them, right? Yeah. And we played this game. It was beginning of the season, and I remember we were standing at the halfway line, and I was like, it was before David Beckham scored that halfway line goal against Wimbledon, and I remember Joe said to me, "You're gonna shoot," and I went, "Do you think I should?" And he was like, "Yeah, why not?" And I shot from the halfway line straight away, touched it to the side. I went bang, and I pinged it, and it hit the stanchion, and just went in the goal. And everyone looked at it like there was like silence. And then I remember the afternoon we went to the stadium and Liam Brady come up to me and was like, the boss wants to speak to you. And then he came to me and was like, I heard you scored a great goal today.
Who's the boss?
Wenger.
Listen, let me just say this, but drop these names, these names, you get me? Because to you, it's his norm, innit?
Yeah, exactly.
I said the boss and that.
Yeah, so it was
when I say the boss, that's my mum. You know what I mean? So when you say it, it's different. So drop the names.
This is the thing as well, like, that was the first time I've ever heard a coach be called the boss. Yeah, Wenger's like, you scored today. You scored a great goal today. Now you need to keep on doing it like that. And then from that moment...
How old was you?
I was like 14, 15, I can't remember. But like it was like, you ain't going to play in your age group no more. like that. And I was like, in my mind, I couldn't understand it. And David Court come to me and was like, listen, you're scoring 4 or 5 goals. Are you learning anything? And I was like, yeah, I'm learning how to score. Like that. And he was like, you're not, because you're playing against players that are nowhere near as good as you anymore. Like, we need to push you up. So now I'm playing in like Ashley Cole's age group. And then like, there's Danny Boateng and people like that. Reece Weston was there. So now so I'm playing an older age group FA Youth Cup as well, right?
Yeah.
And I remember like he was putting me on the bench, and I said to Don Givens now, because I didn't like Don Givens at all. He was trying to make me play like Niall Quinn. I said, I ain't playing like Niall Quinn. I remember we played against Watford, and Don Givens brought me off the bench, and I was fuming, and a few balls got played down the channel, like balls that I couldn't get onto.
Don't
But
even
he's
tell
like,
me. I never ran the channel.
he's like, oh, you got to chase the lost cause. You got to chase it out of play. I'm like, that's just wasting energy. What am I doing that for?
Right.
And then
You
carried on.
You said this back to him?
Yeah. So like,
Okay.
I was going to come back to the halfway line. And then he carried on and he was just on me. And in the end, I just turned around and I went, fuck off.
But how old are you at this time?
15 and 16, something like that. I went, fuck off. Like that. And he looked at me, he went red. And do you know, like, the silence of like, I can't believe you just swore at the manager. Man. Jay, come off. So he brought me on and brought me off. I was like, I don't care. I walked around the pitch. I said to my mum, let's go. Like that. And I just went. Obviously, I got called into Liam Brady. And then there's Liam Brady now. He's like, you can't speak to people like that. And he's your coach. He's your manager. You got to respect him. I said, does Tony Adams respect his manager, innit? Like that. And people like Lee Dixon, and they respect their manager, innit? He's like, well, they swear, because I've heard them. Like that. And he's like, yeah, but you're a kid. Like that kind of way, yeah? But in my mind, in his mind, he knows this. I'm one of the best forwards in the country.
That's what I was going to say.
Because I'm playing for like England under 15s as well.
Yeah,
like me and Jermaine Defoe up front. Like, we're representing the country now. So like, I'm one of the best in the country. So I always felt like, he can't tell me nothing. What's he going to do?
Yeah.
Then I didn't play for a few weeks, discipline and all this kind of stuff.
I just want to say, so YTS, when you're a YTS, you got jobs. So that's cleaning.
You got jobs, cleaning boots, picking balls up.
Whose boots were you
So
cleaning?
I was on Vieira, Kanu and Anelka, right? And I felt like, to be perfectly honest, I didn't mind doing Vieira and Kanu, but I felt a bit of a way doing Anelka's because he's like 2 years older than me. So like, or 3 years older than me. So I'm thinking, he ain't better than me. What am I cleaning these boots for? Yeah. You should be cleaning mine. Yeah. Like that. That's my mindset, right? I'm like, I don't want to do that.
You know what I mean? I said that because I knew you was going to say
that was the thing. So this is me, right? So, and to be fair to him, I went to him one day and I said, give me your boots. I'm going to clean them. He went to me, Jay. He said, don't worry, I clean my own boots. Like that. And I was like, that's when I was like, okay, now I respect him and I said to him, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, these are my boots. I'll clean my boots.
Did Vieira and that man give you like Christmas times?
Vieira,
the
Kanu,
man don't give you no money?
No, so Vieira and Kanu, to this day, when I see them, they give me a cuddle, right? And I love doing their boots. And what they used to do is they used to give me a Christmas bonus. Like, it would be like £250 each. Bearing in mind, bruv, I was on £47 a week on that contract there. I was going to like, what's that? Like top man to like buy loafers and like, do you know what I'm saying? And it was like shoes back then were like all £30, right? And I used to make them last, bruv. That £47 used to go a long way.
But £47 was hella money back then.
And do you know what the thing was as well? We used to get two tickets for every game. But at the time, like, my dad works on Saturdays, like, he can't come to the games all the time. So like, when we did get them tickets, I'd be like a tout. I'd be like, tickets.
When you were born like hustler,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, I need 100 for the pair. 100 for the pair. Like, when Arsenal got to the FA Cup final, it was like 1,000 for the pair. 1,000. Like that. That's what it was. Like, everyone was doing it. Because it was like £47 a week. You can't live on that, right?
I feel you.
Vieira and Kanu were giving me their boots as well, because we were the same size. So like, now in fact, Kanu was a bit bigger. He was like size 11 or something. Even them, he used to give me boots. I'd be like, to my mates, I said, listen, you want to buy Kanu's boots off me? Like, I'd sell everything. Like, but Vieira was the same size. So I was wearing them. And do you know, at the time is when the R9s were rife. Them blue and black ones, the Vapors, R9. He was giving me them all the time. I was like, man, these boots are nice.
did you have dealings with? So you knew Anelka was a couple of years old. You had the various. Was you training with them, man?
Yeah, so I think I was the first. I was the first player to start training with the first team daily, and it was like at the beginning, it was like very much like, one of the first team players are not playing, so then it's sending one of the coaches over, get Jay, bring him over.
Yeah.
And I remember when I went with the first team, it was the same thing. It was like, all right, I'm playing with now I'm playing with like Bergkamp, Henry, and these players, and I was like, they're good, but I'm good.
Swear that. No,
Yeah, I'm
Jay.
good. I remember there's a story with Ray Parlour, right? Ray Parlour, I remember we went into the thing and I was like, I remember I went to Dennis Bergkamp. I said, bruv, you're wearing my number, I said, you ain't going to have that for long.
Swear, you said that to...
Yeah, and I remember Ray Parlour started laughing. He said, what, you think you should have that number? And I said, yeah, I do. I can be better than you. Because I'm like, you play in that Arsenal team, you can't play crap. You can't be crap because they'll make you look good, even if you were not good enough.
Okay.
Right? And that's what it was. It was like, but I actually genuinely felt that I was better than them players there. Because remember, back then, again, if you didn't play on a Saturday, we had in-house games, right? So I was playing against people like Jules Grimmondi and Matthew Upson and these kind of players that didn't play in the first team. And I was tearing them up.
Right.
I was scoring like 3 and 4 goals. I was like, this is easy, man.
Right.
Like in my mind, as much as I'm playing my youth team, I'm playing in the reserves, I'm doing all this kind of stuff, I'm always pissed off because I'm like, I should be in the first team squad now. Right. But at the time, it was like, I was still under the care of Liam Brady. But, I have to put things in perspective because my attitude wasn't right as a kid.
We know this.
And I was a product of my environment. Right. And I was cocky. But you have to be that way. You have to have some kind of cockiness, some kind of confidence if you're going to reach that level to play.
So when you're training with them, man, I'm talking about players or Wenger or was there that reinforcement was like, but Jay's just ripping up, man, from these players, if you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because people coming up to me was like, yeah, you're the truth. And I remember like we played, and it's funny, we played against someone for England. I can't even remember where he was, but Rio came up to me and Rio was like, yeah, you got game. Like that. And that gave me the confidence as well. Because I'm like, this is one of the best centre-backs in the country.
Yeah.
So like, and remember as well, this whole time I'm playing for England as well. Like,
right.
And there's some serious players there. I mentioned Jermaine Defoe, Leon Knight back in the day.
Proper.
Bro, mate, Leon Knight was in the back page of the News of the World.
Yeah.
From young.
He's arguably the best finisher I've played with that I've seen. And Leon Knight was just...
Leon was serious.
But you might want the same product of your environment because he's got the same mentality as you, right? I ain't gonna lie.
But like the thing is that kind of age group, that year, everyone had that same kind of confidence.
Right.
Everyone had that. It was like, you couldn't take that away from no one. You needed that part.
Right. So then what was... So
yeah, sorry, I got called with the first team.
Sorry.
And I was getting called like here and again, like maybe... of a week, I'd probably go there twice a week, and then it got more and more and more. And then I remember, like, it got to a point where I was there every day now, and Wenger was like putting his arm around me. He was like, you're a top player. Keep believing, keep doing. And I think that's what Wenger did. You could have a crap game, and he would be like, yeah, but you dribbled past that player well. You had a really good shot there. He just always gave you that invincibility. It was like, okay, I thought I played well, but you made it sound like I played well. Like that kind of way. So like I went home with a smile on my face. But he kind of pushed me, and then he came to me once, and I think it was before the semi-final FA Youth Cup, and he went to me, next season you're going to be playing in the League Cup. Like that. And I think it was great for me to hear that, but it was bad at the same time because now I'm like super cocky. I'm like, I'm going with... Forget all these youth teams. Like now I'm with the first team. But at the same time, when I was training regularly with the first team, now Pennant's come and train with the first team. Now David Noble's training with the first team. Now Nicola Galli, John, like people are now training with the first team as well. But even that, like you couldn't take liberties in training. Like you couldn't take liberties. I remember like Martin Keown. You see him on TV now, and you hear the way he speaks. It's funny because he's soft spoken. He's a really nice guy. But training and playing, he was like long studs or short studs. There was no molds. right? It was that simple. The man wore studs in the gym, right? It's just studs everywhere. It was studs everywhere. It was like, and he will go through players, he will smash players. He didn't care. It was like, I
Yeah.
train as I play.
As I play.
And that was it. I remember David Noble nutmegged Vieira one time, and me and him was standing on the halfway line. I could see Vieira behind David Noble, and he was like, yeah, see that? I just popped it, bruv. Man's an international. I just popped it like that. And like Vieira's behind him, like looking like
Okay, cool.
that. And
Yeah.
I was like, look, like that. And David turned around and was like that. Next thing, boom, smashed nose.
Yeah.
That was it. But and do you know what the thing was as well? The beautiful thing, like, you learned how to be mentally tough in that team. Wenger didn't need to say nothing because the experienced players, the best players, just took care of everything. We made you mentally tough by giving you that. I mean, it sounds like bullying. Today, in today's game, it's bullying, right? I remember getting choked up by the wall. I won't say the player's name, just because I was laughing that I went round someone and embarrassed them and scored. Like afterwards, come in, boom, put me up against the wall, choke me out. Like it happened a lot.
Yeah.
But it gave you that kind of, you can't take liberties here. You can't mess around. You can't disrespect people, even though you still did.
Yeah.
But you knew that there was going to be repercussions.
There was a lesson
if you
in
did.
the madness.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a lesson in the madness.
And then, so obviously, everyone knows, the FA Youth Cup came, played really well against Coventry. We smacked, I think we beat them like 7-2, 8-2. And then there was the under-19s final. And that was the game where I threw my shirt.
That's the point where the Arsenal story ends.
What happened there? It was funny. It was a free kick. And it was on my side of the pitch. Do you know the right side where I can just
Where you can
whip
bend
it over
with
the
your left. I see it.
And David Noble was like, I'm having it. And we was arguing at the ball. And then he looked over my shoulder and they put the board up to sub me off. And I looked round and I was fuming. So I took the ball off him. I booted the ball out at the stadium. And now I'm chugging off the pitch. And I'm like, I'm pissed off. I'm saying, like, I'm speaking to myself. I'm like, how the fuck is this man's bringing me off? Like, what? Who are you bringing on? Like, this guy, like that kind of way. And then I got there. And again, I want to put things in perspective because that season as well, like, we see like Vieira take his shirt off and just throw it on the floor, right? And that kind of went through my mind because I felt like disrespected. Like, why are you bringing me off for? Anyway, I came off, took my shirt, and everyone says you threw your shirt in his face. To me, a throw in your face is if I go like that.
Okay.
Right? It wasn't that. It's like I
So
took
what
it
did
off.
you do?
I took it off and I just went like that, right?
What, up in the air and it landed on his head?
And it landed on his head, right?
That is the
So
most
that-
bullshit, man. I just threw it up in the, in the
it wasn't-
proximity.
No, it was. I tell you what it was. Yeah, I'm gonna use this. Yeah, I'm gonna use this. It was more like I took it off and I just went like that.
But
That's what it was. Yeah, and it
Pause.
hit me in the face.
That's my gift, My man just threw my gift out the.
No.
No,
You know what? Let me go get it. No, you're right. You're right. I appreciate this more.
No, I'm saying that. All right, cool. So you didn't intend to fry
Yeah,
his
so I didn't
face,
intend to throw it at him.
Right.
But I intended to take it off and just like throw it to the side.
Right, okay.
But it hit him. And I didn't even see it hit him because I was just walking down the tunnel now. And again, all I heard was, ooh, like that. And then I kind of like, I don't know what happened there. So I went in the changing room and then like, obviously we lost that game as well. So everyone was upset.
Right.
And then I just remember Liam Brady comes to me and was like, I'll see you Tuesday, come to my office.
Was Liam Brady there?
Yeah, everyone was there.
Everybody was there.
Everyone was there, man. This was
Okay.
like the biggest game because like we just won the FA Youth Cup.
Right.
Again, everyone was there. And, we're playing against a West Ham team that had Carrick in it, Joe Cole in it. I'm not sure if Jermaine Defoe was in it at that time. But like, who else? Izzy or Rick Penn.
Oh, okay. So,
Adam Newton. Do you know like, these kind of players? Bertie Brayley, do you remember Bertie Brayley? Like, so it's a proper team. That was our main competition.
Rivals, yeah.
Arsenal against West Ham. There was no one else.
Yeah.
And then in my mind, I was thinking, what's he gonna do? Sack me?
Right.
Like, and if he does, someone's gonna sign me.
Right. So
Right?
that was your mentality.
So that was my mentality. It wasn't like I didn't really look at it like it didn't bother me that much. And then I remember I went in on the Tuesday. So like to be fair, like. I remember I went in and I was a bit nervous, if I'm honest, because I'm thinking, like, I had my mum and dad for the whole time grilling me, I didn't go out. I had people calling me, like, my teammates. Have you heard anything? What's going on?
Right,
All that kind
right.
of
So
thing.
the anticipation was building.
Yeah, it was building. So like, I remember when I was going to the marble halls, um, they let me in and I had to sit down. And I remember sitting there thinking, how bad can it really be like that? Because remember, I've got in trouble. So it's not just one isolated
Yeah,
incident. It's like an
yeah.
accumulation of me going in the room, speaking to Don Howe, like this incident with Don Givens. Like,
Yeah.
it was an
So you've been here
accumulation of
before.
things.
The head teacher's office, you've been here before.
Exactly. So I was
Right.
like an accumulation of things. I sat down and I remember his, I think, or Charlie George. It might have been Charlie George actually. He came in the room. He walked past the room that we was in and was like, I hope, to Liam Brady, I hope you're giving him a new deal. He's a serious player. So in my mind, I was like, maybe that's what we're talking about here. Like, maybe they've forgotten. Like, and then like literally walked out the room. He's like, listen, Jay, that what you did there is unacceptable. We're putting you on a transfer list. Because now I'm a pro, right? So it's not like you can just say you're sacked.
Yeah.
I'm a pro. So like, you've got to sell me or I can come back training.
Right.
One of the two things,
Yeah.
right? I was like, all right then. And I just got up and walked out. Like I didn't even wait for him to dismiss me. I was like, all right, bye. Like that. And I walked out. I remember like I called my mum and dad. I said, oh, they put me on a transfer list. I was like, what does that even mean?
So, okay.
Like, because at the time I'm like, I've never heard of this transfer list stuff.
Right.
Because I'm like, I come from YTS, then like pro. I'm like, what's this YTS stuff?
Right.
I mean, what's this
pro stuff? This
what's this transfer list stuff? I didn't even understand his, and then they explained it to me. My agent explained it to me, who was Jonathan Barnett at the time, and was like, well, basically, they're telling you that they want you to leave, and someone has got to come in now and pay money for you. And I was like, someone's got to buy me, like that. And I was like, yeah. He said, listen, it's a good and a bad thing. The good thing is there's probably going to be teams that want to buy you still and give you that opportunity, and you'll get paid from it. You get like a little percentage. I was like, for real? I was like, they was like, yeah. I was like, this is getting better and better. I was like,
so your thing was, so you're an Arsenal supporter.
Yeah.
So was the whole allure of, oh shit, I may not be at Arsenal no more. Was that ever?
No, because you know what the biggest allure was? Me playing in the Premier League.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
That was it. So obviously I wanted to be at Arsenal. I still love Arsenal.
Yeah.
But at that point, again, I want to reiterate this. My attitude was wrong.
Yeah.
Right? I had a bad attitude when I was younger.
Do you regret? So let me ask. Just you look back at your Arsenal, and I'm not talking about your career because your path was meant to be the path it was meant to. That's how I look at it. Do you look back at your Arsenal stint with regret?
I loved my Arsenal stint. I'd never change anything. The thing that I do regret is, do you know the thing is, it's like I can't really regret something because I was just a product of my environment. Right? It's like, what can I do about that? You know, and at the time, like things were happening fast for me.
Right.
Like I never really got like no knockback. And even when I did get in trouble, it was like, we'll give you another chance. We'll give you another chance.
Right.
So like this was the final straw for them. And you know what, rightly so.
Cool.
Rightly so, because I was disrespecting people. I was always like, I think I'm right, you're wrong. I never really listened. I always like just did it my way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do regret that part because obviously I would have loved to play for Arsenal. And I mean, later on we'll talk about it, I'm sure. But like, Wenger said to me, you would have played a lot of games for Arsenal. Like he loved me as a player. Like, so like for me, like I look from that point of view, I do have a regret because I did more than anything want to play for Arsenal. All my friends, all my family were Arsenal supporters. And I genuinely think like that kind of football would have helped me blossom even more.
Yeah.
Right? Because it wasn't a case of target man, running channels. It was all to feet, man. We used to do training sessions. The ball couldn't go over knee height. Knee height, not waist, knee.
That was
like, that was the thing. That was the levels, right? It was like
that's foreign to me. I played in the EFL, so foreign.
And you know what? So and the EFL happened for me after. Well, it didn't because I remember Gordon Strachan. This was funny. So like after about 2 weeks, I remember I was going to Finsbury Park with my dad, just training by myself because pre-season had started at Arsenal, but they said they don't want me to come training.
Oh, so once they put you on the transfer list,
Yeah,
you was blacklisted then. They said, don't come and
yeah,
train
they
no
don't
more.
come training,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Because
So it was
I didn't
final.
know at the time, but Don Howe basically said, listen, if he's coming back, I'm leaving,
Oh,
right? And fair play to him because at the time, he's one of the best coaches in the country, probably the best coach in the country. And I've disrespected him in a massive way, right? So if I walk back in, it's almost like them saying, Arsenal saying, well, we value
real
him more than
slap in the
you.
face
It's
to
a
him.
slap in the
Yeah,
face, right? And at the
yeah.
time, they need to have the best coach. They need to have the best coaches there because there's like 30 players coming through. There's 30 players behind me. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not just me. From my point of view, it was me.
Yeah, yeah.
But from their point of view, they have to think about everyone, right? So, and rightly so. So, I was there practice with my dad, and I remember I went home and my telephone rang, the home telephone, and I picked it up and I was like, "Hello," like that, and it was like, Gordon Strachan here, and I was like, "Dad, like Gordon Strachan, he's on the phone for you," like that. And I didn't know. From my mind, I'm thinking, who's Gordon Strachan? Like at the time, because when you watch football, like I was watching football, but it was like I was watching Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United. It's like, yeah, Gordon Strachan here. I'm actually want to speak to Jay. It's Gordon Strachan of Coventry City Football Club, and he gave me the phone back. I was like, oh. I was like, all right, Gordon. Like that. And he went to me, listen, Jay, I've got permission to talk to you. We want to buy you. I think you're a talented lad. I see you play against Coventry in the FA Youth Cup. You was amazing. You know, we've got a little project we want to do here. We want to bring through our young players. Sold me Robbie Keane. Like I was like, Robbie Keane?
Yeah.
Because Robbie Keane was on my radar because he was smashing it for Coventry, right? So I was like, I said, what, you want me to play up front with Robbie Keane? And he's like, yep, that's the plan, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, cool. And then he invited me down to the training ground. He said, listen, obviously I see what happened. I know the way you are. But I just want you to know that I'm here for you. If you need me in any kind of way, you always pick up the phone to me and come to me, right? I want to give you the stage to go and show your potential. So you're going to be with the first team squad every single day. You're going to be traveling to games. You're going to be part of the squad. I was like, this is exactly what I wanted.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like Premier League football. So I'm 18. Remember, like, to put things in perspective, like all my teammates, as much as they were training with the first team squad every day, now I'm playing in the Premier League at 18 years old, right? So like, yeah, that happened. They paid a couple of million for me, which was ridiculous because I've never even kicked a football, right? And to put things in perspective, yeah, 2 million back in 1999, whenever it was, or 98, like that's a whole heap of money.
Now you've gone for 2 million. Is your head like?
It's big again.
I'll say no.
It's big again.
Because that's what I went to.
It's big again because I remember like I got a nice little sign-on fee.
Say no, and I see
So
the
I was
car.
like,
I see the car
I was
you're
like,
rolling in the hood with. Trust me, I see it.
because I remember like, so I went to discuss terms in, what was it, 99 or something like that, whenever it was. And I remember like they came to the table, and at the time at Arsenal, I was earning £450. That was my first year contract.
Right.
But then it was staggered. It was like 450, 550, 650, like that kind of way, yeah. And if you make your debut, you get a new deal. Like all, do you know, like all them little perks? I mean perks, like all them little bonuses.
Yeah.
And then I went and sat down with Thingy, and I was like, okay, so listen, we know you're a top player. We want to offer you £2,000 a week. I'm like this.
What?
I'm like doing all this with my agent. I'm like, I thought I was going to get a punishment. Like, this is getting better and better. Like, I couldn't believe it now. I was like, wow. And my agent's like, I look around at my agent, he's like this. He's like, listen, do you mind if we step out like that? Stepped out. He was like, well, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Like that. And then went back in. And then what they said was, listen, we're going to give you £2,000 a week, but that is if you're in the squad, right? Okay. If you're not in the squad, we're going to give you £1,200 a week. But I'm like, £1,200 a week?
Right.
That's still a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money because I wouldn't have been getting that over the next 2 years at Arsenal.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, you got that. That was your contract for 3 years. I was like, perfect. I had to go into digs first. So I was living with this family and going to a training ground. The first day I went to the training ground, I thought, fuck me, what have I gone and done?
Right.
Like, we got one pitch. Before I had like 10 pitches were under soil heating, everything. Like,
How was
pool,
that? So,
train, like we had a
how
room.
was that? So going into that bit, so right then, did you have a regret?
Yeah, right then, I remember I had a reality check.
Okay.
Because I was like, in my mind, I thought that's the way every club was. But now I'm like, rah, that's my training kit. Like, I looked at it and I was like, I don't even know that brand. Like, what's that? And then, like, obviously we was there, and like some of the players were good. Remember Hadji,
Yeah,
Chipo,
yeah.
like Magnus Hemel was a keeper, um, um, Cedric Roussel, obviously Robbie Keane, like all these players were there, and I was
Right.
like, they're good players.
Right.
But at the time, the only one I respected
Was Robbie Keane.
was Robbie Keane.
Right.
So like, I'm like, I remember like Richard Shaw, who I love, Paul Williams. I haven't seen him since I left, but he really like installed some kind of mental toughness. I see him punch people up, knock them out clean on the floor,
Right.
right? And I remember he's like, what do they call you? And I was like, JB, you can call me the star if you want. Like that. And I was just laughing. So straight away, like I got in there with the first team.
Right,
Like I was just
right.
making them laugh. And then after a week, there was I didn't get into the first team squad for the first week. So we played a game, in-house game on a Saturday morning before the game. So the players that weren't involved in the
Yeah,
squad.
yeah.
And I remember there was this player called Barry Ferguson, and he wasn't the Barry Ferguson,
That's
the
at
legend
Rangers,
one that
okay.
Rangers and Blackburn, and he wasn't that one. It was another guy, Scottish guy. And I remember we played, and it was pouring a rain, and it was like you had the small goals, like that kind of thing. Done the running session, but then had like an 8v8. And I remember like I was just taking the piss. I was taking the piss out of him,
Okay.
like tearing him up, just every time. Boom, goal, boom, goal. People were moaning at him, get tight, like all this kind of stuff. And anyway, he smashed me in a tackle. So now I got up and reacted. I said, "What are you doing?" Like that. Now he's walking over to me. This is my first fight on the pitch. So he's walking over to me. He's like doing all this kind of stuff. I said, "Stay there," like that. And I warned him, and he come closer and closer, and then boom, just punched him in the face. And then I tried to kick him in the stomach when he was down. Colin Hendry rugby tackled me, and that killed me because I was like, this guy broke my ribs.
He's messed up my ribs,
broke my ribs. So I went in, and there was a kit man called Andy Harvey, who to this day I speak to. Lovely guy, but at the time I fucking hated him because he was just like, he was that father figure
Okay.
up there. And at the time I didn't know it, but he was just always on me. He didn't give me the squad numbers that I want because he was choosing the squad number. Like I wanted, like, so when I went now, I wanted, I remember there was number 20 available. So I wanted number 20 because I knew that I was older. I mean, sorry, younger.
Yeah,
so I knew that I had to have a higher number to begin with. But I wanted 20. Gave me some like 30 something. I was like, he just didn't, he just didn't. But I went into him, and this particular session, he went, "Listen, I think you should call Gordon Strachan." And I was like, "Is it that bad?" And he was like, "You should probably call Gordon Strachan." So I remember I was sitting in the changing room, and I leaned out, and I was like, "All right, Gaffer, Jay here. Listen, I've had a situation in the training pitch today, like," and he's like, "What's happened?" And I said, "I had a fight." "With who?" "This guy, Barry Ferguson." And he was like, "So what happened?" And I was like, "Well, I just punched him, and then I tried to kick him in the stomach. I don't even know if I kicked him or not. But then Colin, like, his rugby tackled me and almost killed me." Then he was like, "Is it over?" And I said, "Well, it's for me because I've punched him. I've punched him. I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with this." And he's like, "Okay, listen, don't worry about it. Let it go now. I'll speak to you tomorrow, but in my eyes, it's forgotten. Let's move forward." And I was like, "Okay." So like we won that game. The first team won that game. I wasn't in the squad.
Right.
Came in the next day on a Sunday. Obviously recovery for the players that played. And he was like, "Listen, Jay," he said, "I understand Sometimes these kind of things happen in the heat of training. You know, there's a lot of, there's a lot of testosterone in the changing room. People want to play. People are frustrated. I understand. But that can't happen again. I'm like, all right then, no problem. It's like, go on, keep training hard, keep doing what you're doing. And I love Gordon Strachan, to be perfectly honest. And you know what the thing was? I remember when he was talking to me, like, obviously he's like about 5'5". And he's looking at me like doing all this, yeah. He's like, this can't happen again. And I'm like looking down at him, I'm like, but he had that kind of big aura about him.
Right.
But I really respected him because I know that he wanted to bring through young players. And I didn't know about Gordon Strachan when I got there, but I see videos of him playing. And I was like, oh, actually, he was a baller. He was a baller.
Exactly how you like to play.
Yeah, he was a baller, exactly.
Yeah.
And then even when we was doing like boxes and stuff, he was doing training. He was still balling. So I was like, I really appreciated that part.
Yeah.
And he always kind of looked out for me. So when they got rid of him, the whole club like went to pot until like even recently. Like Coventry hasn't been back to the Premier League since then.
Was that hard? Was that hard?
That was hard.
Hard.
That was hard because it was a reality check, and it was like I need to get out of this.
I need to get out of this.
I need to train hard and try and win my spot back. But then I started off quite well actually, and I made my debut. And the only thing
your debut was against Man United.
Yeah.
So that's Scholes, Beckham.
I'm gonna tell you now.
Cool. Go on.
So what happened was me being young, and as much as I was in and around the first team, I wasn't bona fide. Boom, you're in it every weekend, right? So I remember went to the stadium and we're playing Man United. And one of my idols was playing, Andy Cole.
Oh, right.
Right. So like we got there and like everyone's in the change room, and the way Gordon Strachan does it is he names a team on the morning of the game.
Okay.
Right?
I hated that, by the way. I used to hate that.
So like, and this is what I'm getting to. So like he read out the Man United team. I can't even remember who was at the back line, to be perfectly honest. But I remember he said Beckham, Keane, Scholes, Giggs, York and Cole up front.
Neville was right back. I did know that though.
Was he?
Neville.
And I'm looking at that and I'm like, I don't know. We ain't winning today. We ain't winning today. Like that. And then he's like, this is a team for today. Blah, 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 blah. Mustafa Hadji and Jay up front. And in that moment, I swear to this day, my body broke into sweat.
Sweat? Yeah.
My body broke into sweat. Like, because I was like, the first thing I thought, I want to sleep at like 1 a.m. Like, I didn't eat. What did I eat last night? A pizza. Like, I was thinking all these things straight away. But I was excited, but I was scared now because I was like, and then he took me in the room and he was like, listen, I believe in you. Robbie Keane did it. He made a great debut against, I think it was against a big team, and I think you can do the same. But at the time, I felt like it was the only time in my career I felt like nauseous.
Okay.
I was sweating. I didn't know what to think. I had loads going through my mind. He was telling me, oh, this is who you're marking on corners. This is this. And back then, remember, Gordon Strachan's kind of old fashioned, right? So it was no like zonal thing.
Yeah,
most of my career, I did zonal.
You did zonal.
I did zonal, right?
You go ahead.
And he was like, oh, you got to mark such and such. You got to do this for free kicks, wide free kicks. You got to get back, long throw. You got to, I couldn't process it.
Right.
I don't know if I can't even remember if I played well or not. But I remember he took me off at halftime and he said to me, you done well there, son. He said, but I'm bringing you off. I need some more experience up front. And I was like, cool. But I genuinely think that was the only thing that he did that I could question. Because I genuinely think that if he had told me like during the week, like Tuesday or something.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about playing you. Just that.
You would have prepped.
I would have prepped. I would have had my mind around it, who I'm playing against.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And I've always been like that, to be honest. If you tell me I'm playing in the morning of a game, I am still professional as I got older, especially later on in my career. But I just needed to know mentally who I'm playing against. And this was my first game. So it was like Man United, first game.
What can you, as a player, so think about it, up until then, I'm not saying everything's come easy in football, but,
no,
what can you remember the quickness? Can you remember the physicality?
The
'Cause
physicality was the one.
That's okay.
The physicality was the one because, and back then as well, people don't even get it. Like back then, you could kick me in my shoulder, right, or my stomach, whatever, and it'd be like, first one ref would be like, yeah, it's true, it's the first one. Like there's no bookings for the first one, right? You could do anything you wanted.
It's true.
You could literally, right?
The first one.
And
it's
I
the first
remember
one,
like,
ref.
yeah,
Okay,
first
cool.
one.
Right.
That was it, right? You just had to get on with it. But I remember like, because again, like, I was tall, never went to the gym. Even when I went to the gym, I was playing 2-touch. Like, and you know, like the man at the fitness coach would be like, "Have you done your bench press?" And yeah, I done it.
Yeah.
Didn't do it, man. I wasn't into that. Just give me the ball. So like, I wasn't strong, but I was quick. I had really good technique. I used to protect the ball by just having the ball between between the defender and the ball. So I just keep it away, and that's what I used to do, and I was really good at that. But it was a whole nother level of, because now you're playing against people that, you know, paying their mortgages, looking after their family, like everything is on the line.
Everything matters.
And it didn't really register until that point, because I remember like a few days later, Richard Shaw come up to me. Richard Shaw was great for me as well.
Right.
I used to speak to him a lot. Gary Breen was great for me as well. And he said, listen, you can't never take your foot off the gas. You can't take liberties in training. You've got to train as you play now. And I was like, yeah, I understand.
So then how does it come around that a 21-year-old Jay Bothroyd, a product of the Arsenal, in Premier League now, picks up himself to go to Serie A?
As I got older, me and my dad, we always used to watch Football Italia, Channel 4. Gazza went there. Do you know what I'm saying? And I remember like George Weah was there. Like it was the best league in the world at that point. The best paid players, like everything.
Yeah.
Best stadiums. And I remember me and my dad spoke, and it was like, if we ever get the chance to go and play in Italy, you got to go.
You got to take it. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah. So then basically what happened was, at the time, there was an Italian agent that worked for my agency. I changed agents now. His name was Frank Trimbley. And he come to me and was like, this team called Perugia want to sign you. And I was like, Perugia? I said, what league is that? What league are they in? And they was like, Serie A. I was like, Serie A?
Yeah.
So like at the time, I'm playing Pro Evo. I'm using Milan and like Kaka and them man in the hole and all that.
Giants,
yeah, bruv. So I was like, this is an opportunity. Like, so I spoke to my dad. I said, this team want to sign me in Italy. Like, I think I'm gonna go. And like, I went there to see what it was like, and I was like, Peru, this is a lovely city. Like, it's different to what I'm used to being in London and then Birmingham, but this is a lovely place. So I did pre-season there to see how I liked it, and it was really good. The boys were really good, but at the time when I went there was no players that could speak English, even though they was very welcoming, and I didn't have nothing. I had a translator that would just translate everything.
How hard's that?
That's really hard, because even though when I was there, he was translating for me, I had to do Italian lessons.
Okay.
Right, so it wasn't just me learning football in Italy; it was learning a language and another culture.
Another culture.
So that was really hard for me, and I remember like I signed. And I said to the manager, like, when did you see me play? And he's like, I see you playing the FA Youth Cup, because you had an Italian player in your squad, and like we knew, because his dad used to play as well, I think for Bologna or someone like that. So he said you was kind of like on our radar, and when we knew you became available, like we inquired, we found out your agent, and then obviously this is how it happened. So I was like, I was buzzing, and then the manager was serious. Yeah, like he was like, wears cap on the side, sunglasses. Like he was like, I was like, this guy's fashionable, man. He's like a character, proper character. And he had a temper as well. Like he went playing.
Yeah.
He went playing with players. Like I see him beat up a player.
Say that again?
I see him beat up a player. I see him have a full-on fledged fight with a player.
Yeah. He win.
Nah, he didn't win.
He
didn't win.
I'll
tell you, clean. Zimmeria. Do you remember Zimmeria? The right back, Brazilian. Played for Inter Milan afterwards. Played for the national team.
He punched him up.
So what happened? He punched him. He punched him after a game because he didn't listen to him. They went and scored. We ended up drawing the game. He punched him clean. Then Zimmeria kind of like punched him
realise
back.
what it is.
Manager went down, started kicking him and everything. I was like, right, this is different level over here. But yeah, no. So I went. That was me going to Italy, man.
Is it true your second game was against Maldini?
So like, yeah, no, it's my third game or something. So the first game we played against Siena, and in pre-season I was banging goals in.
Right.
I was loving this now. We started the first game of the season we played against Siena, and I scored a mad goal. Like the ball come up to me, chested it, knocked it through. Yeah, knocked it through two players, breezed onto it, smashed it, bottom
Like
corner.
R9, yeah.
Left bottom corner on the left, near post. Then we played against someone away, I can't remember. Then we played Milan, AC Milan. And now I'm like, do you know that kind of confidence that I was always talking about? I was like, I'm going to have a great season this year. But I remember the coach said to me, if you can score 10 goals in all competitions this year, that would be like scoring 20 in any other league.
Okay.
Because you're playing against some of the best defenders out there. And I remember he said to me, he said, the thought process of defenders over here is, you can go past me, but you ain't going past me with a ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I'll just bring you down
that.
Do you know, that kind of way. And so we played in this game against Milan, and I remember like we was early into the tunnel, and I was one of them players. I didn't like coming out last, like kind of strolling out. I wanted to be like there at the front, like third, fourth. So I was there, like probably like there'd be like the captain, the keeper, then there'd be a couple of players. Then that's where I kind of
like to be at, yeah.
So I remember I was standing there just looking at the tunnel, and when I was looking at the tunnel, you could see like all the Italian ultras, the flares going off, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I was like, man, this is so like playing here is so good. And then I look around, I see Dida, and then I see Cafu, I see Maldini. I'm like, in my mind, I was just thinking of FIFA now, or like, what is it, Pro Evo? I'm like. Then I see like Pirlo, Gattuso, Seedorf, Kaka, Shevchenko, Kaladze. Like, I'm like, this is real now.
Right.
This is real. Like, I'm playing against some of the best players in the world. They're gonna be best players ever, like that. So that was the point, and I swear I'm getting goosebumps now because that was the point where I was like. This is going to be the biggest challenge of my career.
Okay.
I'm playing against Maldini, who's the best defender in the world.
Right.
So and then Costa Curta. And I remember, like, I was just like, I want to have a game here because it's a test. Because in my mind, I was always like, you know, when you play against the biggest players, it's not just like, you know, it's going to be a test.
Yeah.
But when you're playing against someone like that,
right.
This is proof to myself that all that talk and my thought process was like, can I live with this guy now?
Yeah.
Right? So like the game started and I played like really well.
Yeah.
Really well. I was everywhere. And it was a blazing hot day as well in Perugia. Like Perugia, it was like 35 degrees. And at the time, it was so hot, I just give myself a bald head. That's how hot it was. Right?
Welcome to my
That's how
life,
hot that's how hot it was.
Yeah.
Right? And I had a really good game. And I went straight up to Maldini afterwards. And I shook his hand, and he was like, "You played very good today. Enjoy your time in Italy. If you play like that, I'm paraphrasing, but if you play like that, you're going to be successful in Serie A." And I went, "Okay," and I was like, "Can we swap shirts?" Like that. He was like, "Yeah, no problem." Just gave me his shirt. To this day, it's still there, bro. I cherish that shirt.
That's Maldini.
Yeah, to this day, I cherish that shirt. And then. In the same game, because we used to get 2 shirts every game, right? You get 2 short sleeve, 2 long sleeve. So in that game, I went back into the changing room with Maldini's shirt. I was buzzing. And then I thought, you know what, I can get some more shirts here. So I took the long sleeve shirts. I went and got Shevchenko's shirt as well. So I was like, now I got 2 shirts from one game. But you had to replace them as well, so you had to buy them. But buying them, I was like, I don't mind buying them because I want his shirt, right?
His shirt, yeah.
So that was the first time I was like, I've arrived in Serie A now.
Okay.
Playing against them players like Pete Kaka, Shevchenko, Pirlo, Gattuso. Pirlo, you couldn't touch the ball. You couldn't get the ball off him.
Yeah.
It got to a point where I was like, I'm not even going to close him down. There's no point because he's just like you think you can get close to him. Boom, gone. Boom, gone. And then the time you think, okay, I'm gonna leave this one, or I'm tired. Like he just gets on the turn, boom, through ball, boom, through ball. It's like it was ridiculous.
was
Like he
something
was
special.
unbelievable. And I actually got his shirt in the away game, so I got Paolo's shirt as well.
Let me ask a question. Was there one thing that, like we know, especially where we're from, is like, but if I can step over, and pull it past Maldini or run him or go shoulder, was there a moment in that game?
Yeah, there was a few moments where I was like, I think I can beat him for pace. I could beat him for pace. I was faster than him.
Yeah.
But like every time it got to the point where I want to like cut inside and get that shot off, slide tackle. And then the time I did turn him, like it just pulled me back. Or like just bring me, like, just take me down.
Yeah.
But it wasn't dirty challenges. It was challenges that were smart, where he's not getting yellow cards.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the timing of his tackles was unbelievable. Like all the time, you want to get that shot off. Boom, he's there. Boom, he's there. He's
Did
always
you feel
there.
like, so throughout your career, throughout your life, there was that element of, I'm watching it, but I can still be on the same picture, that you still had that feeling when you had them.
So like, even though like, I always felt like, and there's no disrespect to other teams, but I always think if you play for a good team and you're a good player, like technically sound, you will play better.
Right. I get
right?
you. No, I get you.
And
Good
it's
players
hard
know how
to
play
like
good
perform
players.
in teams that are like mid-table teams or lower end teams. I was at a lower end team, even though they finished, I think, 11th or something the previous season. They're like a lower end team. They got a low budget, right?
Yeah.
All the best players. Again, it's like a selling on club.
Right.
But in my team, there was like Fabio Grosso, World Cup winner. Zizi Vrizas, Mikoli was there. Zimaria was there.
Okay.
There were some like good players there.
players,
Ravanelli came there that season.
Okay.
Like,
You played with Ravanelli in
yeah,
them back
bro.
there.
Rava was, he was proper. Do you know what I see that season as well? Just thinking about it, that first game against Siena, I was so up for that game because it was Serie A. But I remember I experienced something. I was like, what the fuck? Like, so I went into the toilet, right? And as well, back in the day, in Italy, it was just a hole in the floor.
Bro.
Right, so it wasn't like a toilet. You had to like squat down if you wanted to do it. Yeah, So like I'm one of these people. Like I ain't doing that. I'll wait till I get home. Like I want to go on my own toilet, kind of thing. But I went in there this day, and there was smoke coming from the toilet. I was like, wow, what's going on there? So like the door was open. So I pushed the door open, and there was a defendant, Di Loretto, his name was. He was sitting there smoking a cigarette, and he had a glass of whiskey. I was like, what were you doing?
Before the game?
Before the game. So what are you doing? He's like, helps me with my nerves. I was like, I was like, this is a whole nother level of football.
But to be fair, I did hear like the Perugia setup was kind of crazy. What's this? Did you do something with the Gaddafi people then?
Yeah. So what happened was like the owner was like extravagant. He was a character, to be fair. He was a character. And like all throughout pre-season, he always just wanted to break down barriers and do things that other people haven't done before, right? So there was talk of signing a Swedish football player, female football player, and he was like,
in the men's team.
Yeah, and he would be like, I think she at the time she was the best player in the world, female. And then like we had Gaddafi there, and Sadi was like, because he spoke English, we didn't speak Italian at the time. So like because he spoke English, we was always together quite a lot. And
this Gaddafi son.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let me make this very clear for people to understand. I was 21. I didn't know about the politics of the world. I didn't know about none of that, right? All I knew was this person is standing in front of me. He was always kind, very generous. And he gave me some, like off the field, some unbelievable experiences. And actually, he was the main reason why I met my wife today.
Okay.
But I give up. But that was like, he always did and said things like that. I don't know if he necessarily was for real, especially when it came to that girl, but he'd be in the press because of it. Okay. And I think that's why I liked it. But Sadi was there. But I think Sadi was more of like, he had invested in the club. He loved football. And I think a part of him investing in the club was, I want to be involved in the squad. So the only team he would play against would be Juve, because he had a 5% stake in Juventus as well. Apart from that, he didn't. He was just training, right? But again, like this. I mean, now I know the politics of it. Obviously, his dad was a tyrant. It's the way he treated his people was like.
But yeah,
it was so sad. But like at that time, like he was like spending money like fresh air.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he I mean, the story of me meeting my wife. He called me one day. He says, "Jay, let's go shopping." I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool." Nah, but when you go shopping in Perugia, like you had to go to the top of a hill, and it's like you go shopping there. Anyway, he said, "I'm gonna send my car for you because I don't have a driving license in Italy yet. I don't have a car. I'm gonna send my car for you." I was like, "Thanks." Like, blah, blah, blah. Pick me up. Got in the car, and we're driving. And I'm like, I don't recognize where this driver's going. So I leaned around and I said, "My friend, where are we going?" Like that. And he just like, no English, like that. So I'm like, okay. Anyway, I dozed off, woke up. I'm at the airport. I was like, what's going on there? And he's like, Sadie's there, like that. And he was like, so I'm walking over. Man's got a private jet. He said, we're going to go shopping in Milan. I was like, this is your plane? He's like, yeah, this is my plane. He said, I have another one in Tripoli. I was like, okay. Got on the plane. First time I went on a private jet.
So, yeah.
I was like, boy, this is a whole nother level. Anyway, we get to Milan. We're in the Westin Hotel in Milan. And I never forget it because he said, what room do you want? And I was like, any room. Like, it's fine. He's like, okay then. There was about 10 people that he travels everywhere with. Security. There's me. There's people like masseuse. All these kind of people. There's about 10 people.
Right.
This guy booked out the top 2 floors of a hotel. He didn't want no one on the floor with him.
Nobody?
He didn't want no one below him. Yeah. So he had the top 2 floors of every hotel. Every hotel we stayed in, always the same. Right? That day he says to me, we went out for food and he's like, Jay, do you want to go to my friend? My friend's got a birthday party. Do you want to go to it? I was like, all right, let's go. And then we go to the birthday party. We have the dinner. My wife's there. I met my wife. Today we're still together. So it's kind of because of him taking me there. So
big up
you
Sadie
know, like,
here, private
exactly.
jet.
That was the thing. And it was like he done things like that. He just done ridiculous things that as a kid, like you'd get like a 200-foot yacht, just like me, him and a couple of friends. Let's go around the south of France. Like I see him go to this club called VIP, and he was getting frustrated because he couldn't pay the bill. And he was like, don't worry. He said, I just pay everyone's bill in the club. He paid the bill of whoever was there at that point. He paid for everyone's bill just because he wanted to leave and they was taking time.
What?
Yeah, he was spending money. Like he was moving differently. Like another story, when you made your debut in Perugia, you had to take the team out for pizza or pasta or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
the bill was on you, so
Right.
you got to fit the bill. So I was upset with that, to be fair, because I was like, I've got to pay dinner for like 30 people. Like that's expensive, right? Anyway, we go out, and then he made his debut in that same season, but against Juve.
Right.
This guy bought everyone a Mercedes.
What'd you say?
He bought everyone an A-class Mercedes. Everyone. He bought about 40 of them. I swear, I was like, this guy's... what's going on here? What's going on here? Like, this guy's... And again, let me just stress it. Like, I don't know what's going on here. I'm a 20-year-old. All I see is this person that's just spending money like it's nothing, like it's water. Like I remember, I had to do a driving test in Italy because they drive on the other side, right? So now I got my Italian driving license, and I ordered a car. It was the best thing I ever done because back then you could go and buy a car. So remember this sign-on fee that I got, right? This sign-on fee that I got from Coventry, I still had in my bank account.
Okay, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
so I had an apartment in Birmingham that was my first apartment that I bought, and then I had cash. So like, do you know the SL? The SL, when that got released, the SL hardtop, but it was convertible as well.
Yeah. I'll see you, man.
I was like, I need this car, man. That was like I was like, I need to get this car. So I remember, I went in the Mercedes showroom. I ordered the car, black on black, SL 500, and I remember I was buzzing because I was like, this is like. This is best. This is like
this is what you
this is what I've worked hard for. Now I can go and get it for myself. But before that, I didn't have the car because it was factory ordered, right? So I had to wait like about 3 or 4 months. He's like, Jay, you can use my car. So he gave me like and at the time I didn't know. I've never been to America at this point. He gave me like this Lincoln Navigator.
Oh, bad boy car.
Yeah. So I was like, man, this is like I got in it and I was like, man, this is serious. Massage seats, like everything. I'm like, raw. And then I was driving that for 3 months, and then my car came, and I was like, Sadie, thank you for that. Like, here's the keys back. I've got my car now. He's like, don't worry, my friend, you keep it. I was like, no, I've got my own car. Like that is not. It's okay. My gift to you. Gave me his car, a Lincoln Navigator. I was like,
well, so what happened to the other Merc that he got for? What did you do with the other Merc that he bought 40 of them?
We all had them. This come later. So I'm telling you before, right? So like the Mercs came afterwards. But this Lincoln Navigator, I sold that. I sold that. So it was like this Lincoln Navigator paid for my Mercedes, right? So I was like, this is getting better and better. Then obviously the one when he made his debut, that came halfway through the season. And again, it's another A class. It was about, I don't know, 7,000 euros or something like that. But he bought it for everyone. I had 30 of them. And then obviously I did the same thing with my car. I didn't need it. I sold it. I wanted the money. But he would do things like that. And it was just like, I couldn't get my head around it because I was living how he would live.
Right.
But we was close because I could speak English and he could speak English, and not many other players could. There was an Australian player, goalkeeper, Zeljko Kalac. There was a Greek player that could speak, I forgot his first name, but Lumputis. He was left back, Greek international. And then my friend to this day, Christian Obodo, Nigerian player, wicked midfielder, and him. So that was the only people I could have a real conversation with.
Yeah.
All the others, the Italians didn't speak good English. So it was always broken English, Italian, I'm learning, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, but playing in Italy gave me the biggest lesson in football that I had up to that point, which was your preparation has to be right. You have to train as you play, and you can't take liberties. As in, you've always got to be on it. If it's a gym session, if it's training, if it's massage, anything, you've got to be there. You've got to be on time. You've got to be present all the time, every time. Don't come back overweight. It was the first time I was weighing myself every day on scales.
Okay.
Right? And it was like, you know, that the calipers for the fat percentage.
Yeah.
It's the first time I even done that. I was like, so the season finished, you come back. Like, if you're like, at the time, my whole playing career, I was pretty much like 10% body fat.
Yeah.
And then it would be like, if you come back 1% over, you're not playing until you get down again.
You get down
yeah.
again.
So it was like, it was proper. It was like strict. Even though the manager was really good and he was unbelievable for me. Like, even to this, I went back a few months ago to play in a memorial match because the owner of the team passed away, bless him.
Okay.
But even him, he was a character. He just said one day, I don't want the team no more. Man kicked to Santo Domingo, didn't pay no one. Right? I was like, hold on, I've got a new kid.
Yeah.
Now I'm not getting paid at all. And then I said, that's when I came back on loan to Blackburn.
I was gonna touch on that just before you go, because in that season, or your time at Serie A, you played against the likes of Adriano, you played against the likes of Del Piero, Totti.
Let me just tell you the tops I got, yeah, because these are all the best players. Totti, Cassano, Buffon, Davids, Nedved, Vieri. I got R9's top. That was another story as well, because Zimirio wanted Cafu's top, and I got that in a game. And I said, the only way I'm giving you this top is if you give me something that means something to me.
Yeah.
And he went to me, who's your favourite striker? I was like, R9. He's like, all right, I've got Inter Milan R10, the shirt. I think it was the only time he wore number 10.
I know that.
In his, yeah. So he gave me Ronaldo's Inter Milan shirt from the previous season.
And you give him Cafu's.
And I gave him Cafu, yeah.
But so I mean, these are the elites of the elites. This is when Serie A was just
there was ballers on every single team. Like even Parma, Nakata, like they had like there was every Gilardino.
What was the biggest difference? What was the biggest difference from the Prem at that time to Serie A?
Defenders were unbelievable.
That was the biggest difference.
The defenders were just a whole nother level. Like, you was playing against a serious defender. Do you know the worst defender? The best defender I ever played against was Maldini.
Right.
the nastiest defender I ever played against was Ivan Cordoba.
I don't know the
Ivan Cordoba is a Colombian youth. He's about 5'8". I played against him in a San Siro. He bullied me. He was pinching me. He bit my arm. Do you know, like the balls down the other end, just rake the back of my Achilles with his boots and be like, oh, so sorry. These kind of things. I'm like, the worst player. He had a mad spring. He was rapid. He was do you know, like aggressive, like the Romeros now. Do you know, just Rudigers.
Proper.
You don't want to play against it as a striker. These are the kind of players you don't want to play against.
Well, I didn't mind it, but you're techie.
I didn't like that. I couldn't. They were the players I'd hate to play against.
Out of all of them, out of all the shirts you've got, out of 2 questions I've got at that, who's the best player in that period there that you played against?
The best, Kaka. Kaka was unbelievable. He was just making things look like. Do you know what the thing is? It's hard to put one player.
I get it.
Because there was a lot, like Totti, Del Piero. Like there was a lot.
Oh yeah.
But the best performance I see against me was Kaka.
Yeah.
Because he was just fast, technique, dribbling, like everything. He was like unbelievable. And that's the one shot I didn't get. Because everyone run to him. Because, you know, like this is Pete Kaka.
Yeah.
So everyone would always go to Kaka. Obviously, he was an attacker. So I couldn't like...
Defenders had him on lock.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Doors.
Yeah, so it was like, I got lucky sometimes. Like I said, I got Totti's one time and Cassano. I like Cassano because he just had a mad attitude. He was a crazy youth. He was doing mad things to people, like pushing referees in the head and all that. I was like, this man is different. Like, Del Piero, I got Davids, I got... Like, so I got a lot of shirts there. I got a lot of shirts there. But like it was unbelievable for me to be challenging myself every week against those players, because as much as the players were great in the Premier League as well, you wasn't always playing against a great player.
Right.
Whereas in Italy at that point, there was always a great defender you was playing against. And that's why I was always turned on by it.
What advice would you, or how important do you think it is for British players, English players to go out and play abroad?
I'd encourage everyone to go and do it.
Yeah.
And that's why you got to respect people like Bellingham that went to Dortmund at a young age. His brother's obviously gone there now. And I think more players need to do it, because I feel like too many English players, British players are in this comfort zone where like, I just want to be at home. I always say, like, I give the advice to my son and to everyone that plays football now. Yes, you want to achieve your dreams, but you want to go and achieve them and see the world as well. Experience the world. Like, if you have the opportunity to go and play in Germany, Serie A, Spain, like, go and do it, because it helps you grow as a player as well. It's not just as a person, it's as a player. And that's what happened with me. So everywhere I went, I felt like I didn't have the best time everywhere, but I was learning things on the way. And then when I got older, it kind of came together.
Yeah.
You know?
So then how did the, you know, you said you came back to Blackburn.
So, that was a bit of a disaster for me. I went on loan to Blackburn. And then it was Graham Souness that signed me.
Okay.
Really liked him. Really liked him. Very honest, just told you how it is.
Right.
And I trained really well, done a good pre-season. And then he came to me, he called me in his office. I was like, oh, like, what's going on here? Again, because he's that kind of hard man as well, you know, he wasn't messing around. And he went, Jay, listen, I'm really sorry to have to say this to you, but I've signed you. I had the best intentions to play you, but Newcastle's coming for me. I got to go.
Okay.
So, like, he left the club just before the season started, and then Mark Hughes came in. And you know, when a new manager comes in, even though Mark Hughes was a good manager, a good guy, I mean, he had really good coaching staff, Mark Bowen, Eddie Nowitzki, who was in the Arsenal setup. I'm still not sure Eddie really liked me because his mentor was Don Howe, but
yeah.
So I think there was like a little bit of animosity there.
Yeah.
But I started off well. I remember we scored against Liverpool.
But again, there's a few things why I don't like you, because
I scored against Liverpool. That was a game as well, because I remember I was playing in it. I was like, yeah, I want to score. Because Liverpool at the time was like, they were the team, Gerrard, you know. So I was like, Djibril Cissé played in that game.
Yeah.
They were a really good side. So I was like, this is a team that I want to score against, and I ended up scoring against them. But literally, and I think it was the next game or next few games, I got a straight red, the only red in my career, where I don't even know who the player was, but the whistle gone, and he just kept kicking my leg. So I just turned around and I said, "What are you doing?" And I just booted him. I don't know what come across me. I went bang, kicked him in his leg as well, and then the man come over, didn't see what he done, gave me the red card. And I remember Thingy says to me, if we lose this game, I'm fining you 2 weeks' wages.
Who said that?
Mark Hughes said that
Mark
to me.
Hughes said that.
Yeah. And I remember Paul Dickoff scored in the last minute or right at the end of the game.
Yeah, yeah.
And we ended up drawing the game. He came back and was like, "You're lucky. Come and see me on Monday morning." And then, so I was banned for 3 matches. And then he said, "I'm not going to fine you, but you got to go to anger management."
Okay.
So that's the first time I went therapy. And it did help in a way, because now I had like a person that I could vent to. Right. But it still wasn't like, I remember I used to go there and sometimes just be pissed off because I was like, this guy, what was he talking about?
Right.
Like, and at the time I didn't understand, because I thought he was going to tell me how to help myself, but really he was trying to make me understand how to help myself. So I didn't get that part. But I had to go to him, and then it just turned out to be a bad season after that, because I had my first, I was lucky that I didn't have no operations like on my joints.
Right.
But I ruptured my quad muscle. I remember we went with international break. We flew to Dubai to do warm weather training. Everything was really good then. Came back and I think we played Burnley away or someone away like that, maybe Scunthorpe or something, in a cup game.
Right.
And it was snowing, freezing cold, and I was on the bench. And it was one of them ones where it was like 10 minutes into the game, you hadn't done a run.
Yeah.
And it was like, "Oh, you're coming on." So I went on, and I remember I picked up the ball, cut inside, and I went to shoot from the edge of the box. And do you know when you just hear like a tear? I tore my muscle, like, even like now, look.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so like that was my first big injury, and then that kept me out for like 4 months. End the season, we're not giving you a new deal.
Right.
Then that happened, and then obviously I think I had a few clubs, but notably I went to Wolves.
Right. That was so you was at Blackburn. When you in Charlton as well.
Charlton, yeah, I had Charlton, and then
so these are both in the
Charlton
Prem
for a year, yeah.
So
do you know what the thing is? I actually really liked Charlton.
Right.
Really liked it. It had Alan Kirbishley, but he played one up front, and I was just unlucky that I had Darren Bent in front of me.
Saying that, who was scoring hella goals.
Yeah, first season, boom, 20 goals.
Yeah.
Like, I would come off the bench, I would play well, I scored some important goals, but then at the end of the season, and it was the same thing, Alan Kirbishley wanted to give me a 3-year deal, but then was it I think it was West Ham came in for him. And then he left. This idiot Ian Dowie came in, and it's like, and he's like, "Yeah, you don't suit my kind of football."
Right.
I'm like, "Fuck, like this is just getting worse and worse."
Yeah.
And then that's when I went to Wolves.
Just before we talk about Wolves, because Wolves in the champ, you know who I think's underrated? Tugai. How was it training with
Tugai was unbelievable. He goes under the radar, bro.
Yeah, but
Tugai, you don't get the ball off him. Do you know he had Pirlo attributes?
Yeah.
Through balls, like round the corners, like things like that. And do you know what the thing was? It was always a pass that was perfect. Like you never, do you know, like something, in games, like, you get a ball banged into you have to like deal with it. Never like that. It was always pass appreciated, nice. Along the floor, crisp.
So what was the mentality? So now you've gone to Wolves in the champ.
Yeah.
And you at this point now, the Serie A, you've been playing the Prem. So now you're back to the champ. What was that like, a mentality switch? And also, what was it slightly like from you coming from the culture from Italy back to the Premier? How did you just maneuver?
Do you know what the thing was? It was more like, obviously I was still really confident in myself, but now I've taken blows.
Okay.
Right? And it was like, I need to start showing what I'm made of again.
Right.
And then obviously Mick McCarthy signed me at Wolves, and Wolves was in a transitional period. And one thing I would say is that I really love the stadium, the training ground, and the fans. But the fans ended up turning on me because of Mick McCarthy. So my first season done well. I think I scored like 11 goals, something like
Right.
that. Second season I done well as well. And now remember, Mick McCarthy comes in one day and he's like acting funny with me. Like I had a Bentley at the time. So I drove my Bentley in one morning and he was like, "Why are you driving that for?" And I was like, "Because I like it."
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
was like, "You shouldn't be setting that kind of example." And I was like, "Isn't it a good example? Because if you play well, you can buy it." Like that. And he was like, "Okay."
Yeah,
And just,
yeah.
like, he just kind of smug,
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
go about your business. So I was like, I don't know.
Don't know
Anyway,
what that was for,
yeah, I
but
don't know
yeah,
what that
yeah,
was for.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
anyway, then there was other things like, so now he would make a point to like say things like, he was like a headmaster. It's like, take your cap off in the canteen, like all
Okay.
these kind of rules, which, okay, they're rules, like, but I'm like, do you really need to enforce them? Like, generally, it's the players. Like, if you wear a
Yeah, yeah,
cap, it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
£2,
yeah,
£5,
yeah, yeah,
£10,
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
right? And you collect the money at the end of the year. So it's like, it's a rule, but it's banter.
It's banner.
Where now
So
he's
yeah.
like taking like shouting at me, like all this kind of stuff. Anyway, carries on. Kitman comes to me and he goes, "Listen, Jay, um, I feel quite embarrassed to say this to you, but I've I've had to give you a squad number to our new signing, Richard Keogh.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
Richard Keogh?" And I was like, "What?" So I went upstairs and I says to him, "What? Why are you giving my number to someone else for?" Like that. And he was like, and you know what? For people that don't understand, a number is personal to you,
Yeah.
right? While you're at that club, if
Yes.
you have a number, that's yours until you depart or till you give it up.
Hundred
No one
percent.
takes it off you, right?
100%. 100%.
So
That's a statement.
it's a statement, yeah. So like, I go up there and I said, "Why are you taking my squad number off me for?" Like that. And he was like, it's nothing personal. I just felt that he's a better number 10 um, than you. And I was like, all right. I kind of swallowed that one,
Right.
right? And see, this is my transition. So before I would react to that.
Yeah.
Now
Well,
I'm transitioning.
we
Yeah,
know.
exactly. Before I
We
would
know.
react to that. Now I'm like, as much as it burnt me, that did burn me. Seeing someone else training in my kit,
Yeah, yeah.
that burnt me hard. Then Sylvan Ebags Blake comes in, again, lovely
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. Some ballers to be
There's
fair, man.
some good
Yeah.
players like Chris Olumu came in. Like there's good players coming in, especially like in the championship because they were really effective in the championship.
Yes. Yes.
And the way Mick McCarthy wanted to play, which was play it up to the big guy,
Yeah,
have
yeah.
people running off him, get yourself back in the box. I'm dealing with like a Don Givens situation again,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so he was bringing players in, and then the final straw was that he put me in. He took me out the first team dressing room, and put me in the reserve team dressing room, and I thought that was a massive disrespect now
I think
because
that.
now
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
just like you're taking a piss out of me, mate. And then it was like training in the afternoon by myself with Tony Daly. So like, do you know this Isak situation now? This is what I was going for. But the thing is that fans, people, they don't know what's going on. And as a player, like now you do because you have social media, but back then you didn't have a voice.
Right.
The only person that had a voice was a manager, and he was the only one that could talk in the interviews every week.
Right.
So he made me look like the bad guy. But in actual effect, he was the one that was treating me badly that got me to a point where I was like, even when I played, I was like, I ain't giving you nothing. I ain't running through brick walls for you. Like I want to outsee you. I want you to get sacked. You know.
Why
So
was
then maybe
the
I'll
so
get.
what was the change? Listen, we've been in changing rooms.
Yeah.
Why what was the change from, was there still to this date? Can you not put your finger on it? Why, like,
I can't put my finger on it in a sense that like I mean, I guess I rubbed him up the wrong way by, being a bit extravagant, having nice, because back in the day, yeah, you start, it was different. I was like wearing diamond baguettes in
there
my
was,
ears
yeah,
and
yeah.
chains and car. Do you know, like all that? I was enjoying the lifestyle.
Right.
And if I'm being 100% honest, maybe I did take my eye off the ball a little bit.
Okay.
Like, but I don't think that the way I got treated from him was warranted that,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he had just been straight with me and said, listen, I don't want this from you. Like, he was even saying to me, don't wear coloured boots. Like, wear black boots. Like, really?
Oh, no.
Like, really?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, you're just doing it now. But at the end of the day, like, he treated me badly, and I'll never forgive him for that.
Right.
Because ultimately, the way I look at it is, he tried to ruin my career.
Yeah.
So, like, the last conversation we had, basically was when I left Wolves, and basically he came to me and was like, I'm putting you on a transfer list. We're trying to try and sell you. And I was like, that's fine, no problem. But I just want to say that I'm going to go to the player. I'm going to go to the club that suits me as a player, where I can get the best out of myself. I'm happy to leave, but the move has to be the right move for me and my family.
Yes.
So it carried on, training by myself. Gary Breen was at Wolves with me as well, and we used to drive in, or when we was there at the same time, we used to drive in together, come home together. And he said, listen, because he was like Mick McCarthy's golden boy, captain, everything, and I love Gary Breen. And Gary Breen gave me the best piece of advice, and I'll say it to everyone out there. Even if you're not in favour, you must always train hard for your next club. Right? That's it. Right, that's why, like, as much as we hear about the Isak situation now, I don't know what's happened there. And I personally look at that from the outside and say, you know, the fact that Eddie Howe says he got an injury, then his head's not right, sends him home. Like, all these kind of things adds up. And to Isak, he's probably felt like, hold on a minute, that hasn't happened. This happened this way. But he doesn't have a voice, right? So people will look at Isak and say, he's the problem.
And I'm glad you touched on that, because especially being players, I do like social media for that. I do like
100%.
the way it's evolved, because narratives gets formed.
Yeah.
So the narrative of a manager always wants to paint, not always, I'm just talking about in a situation like this, like now, they will interview Eddie Howe, and again, it could be exactly how he is. This is what it is, but everybody's got their own truths and how they see it.
Exactly.
So that's the reason why I say it. I like the fact where you're like, look, man, it goes like this. I've gone through it personally when a manager tried to assassinate my character. It's okay if I don't get on with you at this club, but then don't try and mess up then what I'm trying to go to, because we know in the game's small. It follows you. Do you know what I'm saying? Your reputation. So yeah, I just
exactly. And if I'm honest, like, I didn't have the best reputation anyway, because
that followed me from Arsenal.
Well. So that followed me from Arsenal. So I mean, these are all things. But I'm trying to grow as a person right now. Yeah, I've got a wife now. I'm trying to be different, but you know, you can't be. You're going to always resort back to that. Exactly. It's just like it kicks in sometimes. But yeah, he came to me like a few times and was like, "Oh yeah, we're trying to send. We got a really good offer from Carlisle and Shrewsbury." I'm like, I said, "What are you wasting my time for, bro?"
Yeah.
Like, I said, "Listen,
you still so." With Wolves, you're in the champ the whole time.
So at Wolves, I'm in the champ, and then now I'm like, Mick, I'm better than that.
Yeah,
I'm not going there, because I'm not even calling him Gaffer no more.
Right,
I'm calling him Mick.
Can you explain that? Because I did an interview, did exactly the same thing with a manager. Like, I felt he came out afterwards and tried to just make out like I was the bad one for leaving, and I was like, wait, what? But we had this conversation. You told me to bounce.
Exactly.
Like, you told me to leave.
100%.
So how? Because for me, when I don't call a gaffer and I call him by his name, you know. But that's how I see
you. And do you know what the thing was as well? So I was just doing things that I knew would upset him.
Right.
But he couldn't do nothing about, because I wasn't doing nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So like, I would go in there when he's there, because he would be there the whole day, right? You know that managers, he's like doing a session with the team. Team leaves, he's still there in the afternoon. He might go to the gym or whatever. I'm there now. I'd be like, "All right, Mick, how you doing, mate?" Like that, big smile on my face. Like, because I know he's trying to break me.
He's trying to break,
and I'm trying to break him now. I'll go in there, have my windows down on my Bentley, play my music. How you doing, mate? Like that. Do you know, like, all these little things? Because he's trying to break me. Now I'm like, you can't break me. I'm gonna go in there with a smile on my face. But at the same time, Tony Daly, great coach, and I said to him, push me to the limit.
Right.
Train me hard. It's going to be painful. I'm going to moan at you. I'm going to swear.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
Right.
Right? So like he was doing that. And Gary Breen, back to Gary Breen, he just said to me, Jay, you're not going to play for this club again. But what you have to do is you have to get your mind right and your fitness right for your next club.
Right.
So this continued for like weeks. But then it got to a point where one morning I was driving to training. And you know, like it was one of them mornings. It was weird because it was one of them mornings where I was like in a good mood. I remember it because the birds are chirping. It was nice, right? And I was going there. I was listening to Talk Sport. And I got a phone call. It's private number. Normally, I know you're the same. I don't answer private numbers. If you're calling me off a private number, it's because you don't want me to know that it's you.
Yes.
Or someone's give you my number which shouldn't have, and you're calling, right? So I'm like, I don't really answer private numbers, but anyway, I answer the phone, and he's like, "Hi, Dave Jones here," and you know, like Dave Jones is like a bait name, isn't it? So I'm like, Dave Jones, who's this guy? Who's this? And then I got permission to speak to you. I was like, from who? Like that. He was like, from Wolves. This is Dave Jones, Cardiff City manager.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Dave Jones. I said, sorry, man. I was just away with the fairies, man. He's like, listen, where are you now? And I was like, I'm on the way into training. He's like, listen, turn your car around, get yourself down to Cardiff. I wanna have a chat with you. I wanna sign you. I was like, yeah? I was like, cool. Because at the time I was like looking at Cardiff. Cardiff was always one of them teams that played nice football.
Yeah.
Right? And they had good players.
In Champ?
In Champ still.
In Champ, yeah.
So Thingy was there, Michael Chopper was there the season before.
Right.
Steve McFowell was there, Darren Purse was there, Paul Parry was there. They had some nice, Glenn Louvens was there. They had some nice players.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like the season before that, Hasselbank was there, Fowler was there. So I knew that he wanted football players.
Yes.
Right? So anyway, I get down there, and then his assistant was Terry Burton. Terry Burton has affiliation with Arsenal.
Yeah.
He's all about technique, passing the ball, and all this kind of stuff. I sat down at the Vale Morgan, and the first thing he said to me was, I'm going to give you the stage, go and affect games. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, I don't care where you go on the football pitch, just make sure you get in the box and get goals or assists.
That's what you wanted to hear.
That's all I wanted to hear. Because you know what the thing is? That reminded me of Arsenal, Arsene Wenger, because it was the same thing. And if I'm honest, I am one of them players that as much as I'm mentally tough, I want an arm around my shoulder.
But I'm gonna get that. To be fair, you've touched on that because I was gonna get to it. Is who's been the best manager for you? Dave Jones.
Dave Jones. In my upbringing, Neil Banfield, Don Howe.
Okay.
As a professional, definitely Dave Jones.
What was that one? What was the characteristics that made him so good for you?
Well, he said that he never gave me a rest. Never. Do you know, like we could be playing like a non-league team in the cup. You're starting. Never gave me a break.
So was
he was always on me.
Was he the manager that made you feel that important?
Yeah.
To everything he was.
So like he got to so when I went there, obviously, and this is another thing as well. Like I went there, first game, I think we played Southampton, and I was on the bench. I was fuming because I trained really well. I'm on the bench. So I went to him afterwards. Like, Gaffer, like I feel like I've been training well. So now I've grown again, right? So now I'm not demanding. So like now when I speak to these young players and I mentor these young players, some of them playing in the Premier League now, some of them playing in the Champ. But like I said to him, Gaffer, I feel like I've been training well. What do I have to do to get in the starting lineup? Whereas before it'd be like, why ain't I playing? Come on, man, put me in the lineup because I'm out of here. That kind of way. Now it's like, Gaffer, I feel like I've trained really well. How do I get in the starting lineup? He's like, Jay, you train really well. I just didn't want to put you in like the first game. I didn't want to start you the first game. I just wanted to show you what it was all about, the way we played.
Yeah. But
keep training the way you're training. Anyway, puts me in like I think the next game or the following game, and then I just kicked on. But I remember like he was always on me. Him, Terry Burton, Wilco, Alan Armstrong, like they was always on me all the time. Everything like training, gym. Like now they're watching me in the gym. Like that's
So
the first time I done gym work when I was like 26.
So are they on you in a way where they're on you, or are they on you where they're like, brother, we're on you because we need you to that degree? So it's that on?
It was more like they on me, like, so I didn't take my foot off the gas.
Okay.
Like go for it. Like, do you know, like one day in training, like it's not like you can't just say, oh, I want to take a day off today. Be like, no, get out there. Or even if I might have didn't feel great, you know, like sometimes you get the strains or whatever. It'd be like, do you think you can do like the warm up?
Yeah.
So he never let me do anything, and it was like I could be. I've played. Do you know what the thing was? One thing I will say to you: that is one manager I would have run through brick walls for, because I would play. If I was ill, temperature, fever. I didn't miss many games.
Right.
And when I did, it was like a proper injury. But he was always really honest with me. He was always like, he always put his arm around my shoulder. He always gave me confidence. And he was one of them managers that made me believe even more in myself.
Right.
Like, so he was like, I knew I always had him in my corner.
Can I ask a question just before we go on to, we got to talk about the England. But so, you know, and you said this a few times that managers have been honest.
Yeah.
So could you always have taken the honesty?
Yeah.
So you could always, but what I'm trying to say is, so if a manager came to you and said, I ain't going with you because I don't think you're going to be able to affect this game the way I want you to affect the game. So I'm going to go with so-and-so.
Yeah, if you could give me that, I could take. If you said to me, Jay, I don't rate you, that's why I'm not playing you.
Right.
I can take that.
Okay.
Don't beat around the bush.
So honesty was the thing that you need. Agree with it or not, you respected honesty.
Yeah, because ultimately, if you give me honesty, I know what I need to do now.
Say nothing.
Right?
Okay.
So like, you beat around the bush and say, oh, Jay, you was great, but, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, when am I going to play then?
Yeah.
But like, I think every player wants honesty.
Yeah.
Like, because you can accept honesty.
Yeah.
If someone don't rate you, someone don't like your attitude, someone don't like the way you carry yourself, if they're honest to you about it, you can deal with that. Because I don't like everyone. I don't like the way people are. Do you know what I mean? But it did get to a point at Cardiff where, like, I was one of the most important players. I was indispensable. If I was fit, I play. And I didn't even have to like kick up a fuss. I just knew that if I was fit, I would play. He brought players in that could complement me or help me be even better. He brought in Craig Bellamy. Craig Bellamy, to this day, I played a charity match with him at Cardiff recently, and I had to tell him, I said, you're one of the reasons why I played till I was 39, because you came to the club and you changed my mindset again. You made me understand what it was like to really take care of myself, recovery and preparation. Because Bellas was at me at Coventry when Robbie Keane left, and he was on antics. But then the Bellamy I met at Cardiff again is the one I needed.
Right.
You know, we had Aaron Ramsey on loan, Mark Kennedy was there, Chris Burke was there, Joe Ledley. Like, we had a good side. Peter Whittenham, God bless his soul. Like, Peter Whittenham was there, and we had a good group. And I always say, like, Cardiff now I feel sad to see where Cardiff is now. But like, my Cardiff team playing in, like, it's a one club city. Like, you play well at Cardiff and your team's doing well, there's no better place to live.
Say nothing. Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? And it was like,
I mean, I'd argue with it. Swansea better because I just wanted to let him speak. Swansea is better, but say nothing because you Cardiff and that. Technically, we should be fighting, but
it's true.
We're boys.
We could love it, exactly. But no, it. By the way, you know this. Them derbies.
Oh,
Cardiff
Lord.
Swansea derbies go under the radar.
Yeah.
That is pure hatred. Pure hatred. I didn't even go to Swansea because I knew that if I went to Swansea, something's going to happen to me.
Brother, let me tell you something. How they was coming for Trundle at brother.
And he's top man as well, to be fair. Like, now I've met Lee. Like, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
So let me ask this question, because you said when you got to Cardiff, you was indispensable. You knew you was playing. Did all the experiences from where you played, the body blows, then allowed you to then not take that for granted? You know, before the Arsenal...
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. And do you know what the thing is? Now I'm at an age where I'm in my latter 20s, right? So now I've got that experience. So now I used to demand off players. I would moan at players sometimes, and obviously I had Bellas there as well that would just moan all the time. Bellas moan at me, like we was going back and forth. But people don't understand the background of me and Bellas. I was friends with Bellas when I was 20 and he was 23. We was rooming. Can you imagine? Me and Bellas were rooming together.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? It was crazy. So like we always had that relationship where we
Right.
would argue with banter, and it would sound serious, but the next day
That's your relationship.
yeah, exactly. But one thing I did like even Dave Jones gave me a lot of responsibility. He made me captain when Mark Hudson got injured for a long period of time. He made me captain, which was more responsibility. He would even ask me about signings. Like he would say to me, you know, I'm looking at signing him. What do you think? You know, blah blah blah. Or if he was like bringing someone in, he's like, listen, I'm bringing someone in, but it's to help you when you. I mean, it's to help you when you're not fit or help the team when you're not playing. Like, and I loved all that because he was involving me, and that showed me that he trusted me as a player, and he knew that I was responsible now. So like, he was the one. And you know, by the way, I'm gonna have to give a shout out to my wife and my agent at the time, Sky Andrew, because of we had some ups and downs, but one thing he did do, and I have to give him his props, and it hurt. This is a thing that did hurt me. He came to my house one time. He's like, "Listen, Jay, look, you're living in a massive house. You got 2 Bentleys outside. You got a Q7, and you're underachieving." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "You're going to be known as someone that's wasted talent if you don't turn your career around." And he said this in front of my wife, yeah. So like now, like, I felt like really small, right? But he was right, because he was like, you're one of the most talented players I've seen and worked with. And I've spoken to managers that say the same thing, but you're not performing.
At what point of your career was this? At Cardiff?
Cardiff, yeah. Cardiff. And that was a wake-up call. And I remember, listen, I'm man enough to say this, that I went upstairs that day. I felt so embarrassed that I had tears in my eyes, because he reduced me to like, I didn't, it took my confidence away from me, that moment, right? And I remember I went to sleep that day. I was in bed by 7. And my wife knew. She just was like, I'm just going to give him his space here. And I came downstairs the next morning, and I said to my wife, listen, that was painful to hear that. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make myself indispensable. And from that moment...
But is there a game while you was at Cardiff that stands out to you that you're like, yeah, man?
Do you know what? First of all, that season where I scored 20 goals, it was an unreal season.
Right.
Because there was so much onus on me and the other players to go and perform now. Bellas, Witts, McPhail, lots of good players there now. But the game that stood out to me was we played a game, a cup game against Chelsea. And this is a Chelsea side that were like banging teams over. And they had a great squad as well. So even though some of the first team players wasn't playing, they was on the bench, like Drogba, people like that. But Lampard was the captain that game, and obviously I was captain now.
Right.
So like it was wicked to like actually like rub shoulders with an absolute legend in Frank Lampard. And at the back that day was Carvalho and Alex. And this was another test for me, right? So I knew we played Aston Villa. I think we played Aston Villa the game before, played really well as well in that game. But then we played Chelsea, and it was one of those moments where I was like, this is a serious Chelsea side. And everyone raves about Carvalho and John Terry. I need to put in a good performance here.
Yeah.
And I remember I played that game really well. Like really well. I didn't score, but I played really well. I think I gave Chops an assist or something like that. But it was a really good game. We played as a team. But then we was just like knackered at the end. They brought on drugs and, all that. Yeah. And then he just bullied people, boom, goal. And that was it. But I mean, after the game, I remember Dave Jones come up to me and was like, Ancelotti, I just you know, after the game, the manager's talking it.
Yeah, yeah.
And Ancelotti said to him, like, who's that kid you got there? And he's like, who? And he's like, number 9. And he's like, oh, that's Jay. He's not a kid though. He's like 26
Because you
or
got baby
27.
face
I
and
know.
that. You got
It
baby
was like-
face and that.
He was
Like.
like, oh, he's like, what's his situation like? I'd love to have someone like that at my club,
Ooh.
like that. And I was like, come on, Gaffer, because he said to me, I probably shouldn't be telling you this. He said, but we had that relationship now. It's like
Yeah,
father
yeah.
and son.
Yeah, yeah.
So like he would literally tell me everything, and he said to me like, oh yeah, Ancelotti is really complimentary of you. He really likes you as a player, blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm not sure if he's true or if he's saying it to like make me feel good or whatever. But when he said it, I was like, rah. And then he's like, that's what I'm saying. You've got that kind of talent. You've got that kind of ability. You've got to keep doing it now.
So you get called up for England
Yeah.
while you're in the champ.
So while I was in the and I couldn't believe it, yeah, B, because I was like, he done an interview after a game, and he basically said something along the lines, again paraphrasing, but he said something along the lines of, he's got the quality to play at the highest level. Like, and someone said, what, for England? Yeah, he could play for England. Next day in the Welsh newspaper, there was a picture on the back page of me like wearing as dressed as a knight, like saying with the England flag on the back. And that's where it kind of started to gather momentum from just that. And even that, like I was looking at it thinking,
It was tongue in cheek.
and it was tongue in cheek, but at the same time, I was like, Gaffer's, he's top man,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
He's giving me my props because I've been playing well, and he's just like putting it out there. But I never thought for 1 minute that it would gather the momentum it gathered.
Yeah.
Because after another 3 or 4 weeks, Dave Jones come down to me in the changing room, and for me, I was like one of them players like got the ball 2-touch, you know, like the Brazilians. I love that, doing a bit of 2-touch in the bare feet before like having a touch of the ball. And then he came down to me, he's like, Jay, Franco Baldini's upstairs. Who's that? He's like, the Fabio Capello's right-hand man. I was like, shut up, man. What are you talking about, Gaffer? He's like, Jay, I'm deadly serious, mate. He's upstairs. And I was like, Gaffer, I'm trying to prepare for the game. This ain't the time, man. Like that. He's like, hold on a minute. Man, come back. And it had, you know, there's a sheet, right, to who attends games. Show me the sheet, Franco Baldini in there. I'm like, all of a sudden, is that situation where I had at Coventry, my hands broke into sweat. Because I was like, I was just enjoying my football, going out there playing and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, it got to a point where it's like, because I was comfortable in the team and I knew my role, I knew how I was important to the team, I knew how important my teammates were for me. It's like we understood one another. And we was all friends as well. That was another thing at Cardiff, which was great. The team spirit in our dressing was unbelievable.
Cultures unmatched,
And yeah, so now I'm like, shit, man, I've got to perform if I'm going to be in this England squad. So I was just like, in my mind, he said to me, listen, Jay, if you keep playing well, you're going to get called into the England squad. And I was just like, yeah, but it's probably not going to happen. Like that. And I just said to myself, right, I'm just going to carry on playing my game. If I get called in, I get called in.
Right.
But then every week that was going past, Jay's, the England squad's coming up, right? It's getting closer. I'm scoring goals still. So now I start having expectations. I start thinking to myself, you know what? I'm better than some of these players. Like, because I know them. I've played against some of them. Like, I know my quality. I know what other people's qualities are. I'm thinking, I could get into this squad now. By the time, like, you know, like there's a game, it's the game that's on the Sunday game. After that, the preliminary squad gets announced. We played Scunthorpe away, and I was just thinking, right, I just need to score in this game or do something well. Again, Franco Baldini's attended the game. I think I scored 2 and we won like 4-1 or something like that, 3-1. And it was one of them goals as well, you know, like ugly goals. I thought, this is my day. Someone banged the ball across, hit me on the thigh.
And then went in,
Yeah, like that. And, but now, B, I'm like, I should be in the squad. Do you know what I mean? Now I'm like, I should be in the squad. It's got to that point now. Whereas before I was just like letting it go, letting it go. Now I'm like, I should be in the squad. Because even though I'm playing in the Championship and scoring goals, my talent, I know how talented I am.
Right. So
And then,
so are you now? So who's
by the way, Bellas is giving me. Bellas was. I had Dave Jones.
what?
Bellas was amazing for me. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. You can be a top player. You can do this. You can do that. You're different from
Who's
when
the
you was
mix?
younger.
Who's the mix? The strikers around. So who's the
So
mix?
Chops was there.
No, in England at this time. So who's the mix in?
So obviously Rooney was there, but I
Rooney.
think he was injured at the time. There was
Okay.
Carlton Cole, Peter Crouch, Jermaine Defoe.
Okay.
Wing forwards, Milner's there, Gerrard, Rio, Carroll's there.
Okay, so that's
Carroll,
the strikers
yeah.
you're up against: Crouch, Carroll,
Directly.
Carlton Cole.
But do you know what the thing was? So we got called into the preliminary squad, right? And even when I got in the preliminary squad, I wasn't thinking, okay, I'm going to play, because Crouchy was doing really well.
Right.
Carlton was doing really well. Like, I was just thinking to myself, I'm just happy to be in the preliminary squad.
Okay.
I'm happy to take the training kit home.
Say nothing. I ain't gonna lie.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Bad boy training kit. I mean, I see it
what I'm
online.
saying.
Not like I've ever got close to it, but say nothing.
But then the jokes was, I'd done a training session and I'm banging goals in the training session. Boom, touch, boom, quickly, doing step, like beating
It's
players.
just, you're gliding.
Now
yeah.
I'm thinking, I might start. I should be starting.
Man goes from to be here to be like,
Just one session.
Yeah.
Because that one session, yeah, this is me. So I went, I just wanted to go, like, my mindset when I got in there, and Stevie G was amazing. Best player by far that I've played with.
Say nothing. Say that again, just for people.
Best player by far that I've played with.
Anyway, right? Yeah.
And he greeted me, welcomed me, took me upstairs, came down with all my gear and everything. I had flip-flops on because at the time I was having injections every single session and game to get through training because I had some cyst in my heel.
Okay.
So I put on flip-flops. I come downstairs, Stevie G, get back upstairs. I said, what? Why? And he was like, if the gaffer sees you with these flip-flops on, it will crucify you.
Ooh.
He hates that. That's one of the rules. You can't wear flip-flops anywhere. You got to wear trainers. So I was like, all right then. So I was limping around, man, with these trainers on, boarding my heel. Yeah. Anyway, he gets downstairs, he introduces me to everyone. And in my mind, Jebby, all I wanted to do, I didn't want people to think like he's not good enough to be here. Right. So in my mind, this is the day before the training. So in my mind, I was like, I want to go out there and train and make people understand that I'm here because I'm good enough.
Because I'm good enough. Okay.
Right? Because I don't want people to say, oh yeah, but he was good, but he's a championship player.
Yeah.
Nah. I want you to say and appreciate that I'm good. I'm good enough to be here. And that first training session was wicked. Like, I was playing against Rio as well, and I know Rio, but like he was like getting tight to me, and I was like, like bumping it off, having shots, scoring goals, and I came off the training pitch, and I was just like,
I can ball.
I'm good. I'm good enough.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, because I was like hanging around the championship so long, there, as much as I have confidence in myself, supreme confidence in myself, there's that bit of, I haven't played in the Premier League a long time. Am I still good enough?
Yeah.
So there was that little element of doubt. But then after that training session, I was like, there's no doubt. Like, I can play.
So I
can play still.
So I'm going to ask some questions backwards. So was you nervous going into that?
I was nervous. I was nervous, like in the car the whole way. Because remember, when I got told, we was at the Audley Harrison, David Hay fight. And I stood up and cheered. Like, I just got a text. I thought I was going to get a call. I got a text message. Right, and I just stood up and said, "What did the text message say?"
Because that's what I was going to ask you. What text message?
You're in the squad. Meet at the Grove tomorrow.
What the?
I was like, I stood up. Yeah, I was like, because all my teammates were there because we went to watch a fight together. I stood up and I was like, yes, and like my teammates were like congratulating me.
Dope,
I was like,
man,
thank you, sir. I was thankful to them.
Yeah.
Because without them, I couldn't perform. And it sounds like cliche. It's always like, oh, he's media
people always
trained.
say that.
He's always me. But I actually loved my teammate. I loved my Cardiff. Do you know, like, the love I have for my Cardiff teammates is a love I have my Arsenal teammates.
Yeah.
Right? Because they really helped me. They really was hard on me as well.
Explain how that is, because the reason why I know that because it's the same love I had for my Wickham team, my Wickham culture. Yeah. And we wouldn't have, I don't care what success I would not have been able to have it to the level
Without them,
them. So the worst thing is, and sometimes people say, man, he's just saying that
Yeah.
because he wants to try and come across humble. But explain.
I wasn't that, you know. I wasn't that. If I didn't think that, I wouldn't even say that.
To be fair, I get that. But the reason why I get that, because I get it, because when I say that, it's because they get me.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
My goods, my bads, and my indifference.
Yeah.
So, and then you get them. So it allows you to have one solid unit going forward.
And that means
Do you know
everything
what I'm saying?
on and off the field as well.
On and off the field.
On and off the field, because that's what we had on and off. We had we used to go out like every couple of weeks with the girlfriends or wives or whatever.
Powerful.
And then we used to have when we win games, we'll go out on a night out.
Yeah, it's
and
powerful.
even then, David Jones was proper. He said listen, I don't mind you going out. You do whatever you want to do during the week. After Wednesday, I don't want to know if you're out and drinking alcohol.
Right.
You're focused on the game. But Monday to Wednesday, do what you want.
Do what you got to do.
Do what you want to do. And he gave players a responsibility to be their own people.
Yeah. So all right. So just explain that night. So when you get the text to getting picked up, getting to the Grove, so that whole England experience.
So it's funny because we went to the boxing, and then I went out with the boys afterwards because I was like, I'm not going to just shoot off. I'm going to go out with the boys for a bit, but I'm just not going to drink alcohol.
Yeah.
So we went to living room, and I think it's Circle or something in Manchester. But all I could think of was like, shit, man, I'm in. I kept looking at looking at the text message, let me just see if this is right. Yeah. And then I was like, you know what, guys, I'm gonna go, man. And I was like, how are you getting home? I was like, I'm gonna get a taxi. I got a taxi from Manchester to London.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I was like, I'm getting a taxi, man. I'm going home because I need to be ready for tomorrow. So then they come and pick me up in London and took me to the Grove.
So they pick you up from your house?
Yeah.
Right.
Pick me up from the house. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm in the car and I'm going there. And I'm like, I wonder what everyone's going to the take of me.
Yeah.
How they going to be with me.
And this is the first time you felt like this ever, or in a while?
In a while, yeah, in a while. Probably the time before that was probably when I first went to train with Arsenal's first team. So I wanted to prove myself in training.
Yeah.
And then now I'm doing it for England. And I was like, I want to do this. But then I remember Fabio, the first thing he did, because his English wasn't great either. So he was trying to talk to me in Italian and English. And I can get by on Italian. But because it's a proper conversation, he wanted to get his translator. Yeah. So he said, the first thing he said to me, he said, I remember you play against Roma when you was in Serie A and he was a manager. I was like, because at the time I remember obviously Pello's iconic.
Big name, yeah.
But at the time I didn't really pay attention to the manager because I was like, Totti, Sano, Emerson, Kivu, all these players, right? So I was like, yeah. And he's like, I see you had talent then and you've built on that and you've earned your spot in this squad. You're here on merit, not because of what anyone else said. You're here because I think you're one of the best players in the country. So straight away he said that. I'm like, that's good. That's nice to hear.
Yeah.
That's nice to hear. And then Stevie G was good with me. He was like, everything on it. Jay, do this, do that. Come and sit next to me on the coach when we go training. He was there. Great guy again. Unbelievable. I can't even explain to you that. Do you know, just a pass. A pass from him just looks like crisp.
Yeah, man.
It's like it just glides along the floor. You know, like someone passes a ball, it just looks a bit like
it's not. Yeah, it's just something. Yeah.
When everything's
he's got
crisp,
the glow, man.
perfect,
I ain't saying he's got the glow.
Left
I give
foot,
it to
right
him.
foot can dribble, strong,
He
everything. By
had
the way,
the biggest.
Theo Walcott was in the squad as well.
Sorry, did Stevie G have the biggest aura?
Yeah, but everyone just knew that he was the best player.
Right.
Everyone, there's no one out there that doesn't. If you put a team together, Premier League team, Stevie G's in it.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't
Stevie
you tell
G's
me.
in it.
Yeah,
Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's he was unbelievable. Then there was Andy Carroll was there. He was making his debut. Jordan Henderson, he was going to make his debut, which was nice as well. So I was in there with some people that played well that are making their debuts as well. So again, for me, I was just like, okay, they're in there. I want to show that I'm better than them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I've always given myself challenges throughout. I was always trying to prove something to myself. I always do stupid things I'd run on a treadmill and think this treadmill's not going to beat me in a race.
Yeah.
Or push me off the treadmill, I'm not going to fall. Just stupid things that was I was just always training my mind. But that training session made me understand that I'm good enough to play at that level.
Okay.
So I came off, this is the biggest compliment I had. I came off the training pitch And the training was at Arsenal's training ground. I ain't been back to Arsenal's training ground since I left,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So I was like in there. Gary Lewin's a physio, Arsenal physio. And he came up to me. He was like, Jay, the boss wants to see you. So I was like, oh, okay then. So I went to go into Capello's room, and they was like, no, Capello's happy with your training. You did really good, but he didn't ask to see you. I was like, okay. So I went back to Gary and I was like, Gaz, what's going on, mate? I went to see Fabio. He's like, don't want to see me. And he was like, no, the boss wants to see you, Wenger. I was like, Arsene wants to see me? Like that. And he's like, yeah. I was like, all right then. So now I'm walking through the training ground, like, because we was at one side and then the other players was at the other side. So like now I'm walking through the building. Obviously, all these nostalgic memories are coming back to me because it's like that training ground opened with me, with us. Like we was the first
You were
people
the
to train
first
in that
person
training ground.
there, yeah.
So like, go upstairs. As soon as I walk in the room, he comes from behind his desk, come and give me a big cuddle. And I was like, in that moment, I had tears in my eyes because it was like, he kind of, like, he gave me the cuddle and then he grabbed my shoulders. He's like, I knew it.
I knew
I
it.
knew you could do it. I
Yeah.
knew you had the talent, like that. And I was just like, I said, thanks, like, boss. Like, and I was like, I was going to apologize for my behavior back then. I was a completely different person. And he's like, don't worry about none of that. He said, things happen. You created a pathway for yourself and you still got yourself back to the top. So he said, that in itself doesn't happen a lot. He said, and you've done that. So I want to congratulate you for that. So we start talking anyway, and we're talking about old times, players, and all that kind of stuff. And then he says to me, "Do you know one thing?" He said, "One thing that I always took from you as a kid. Then, he said, you was one of the best players I've ever worked with, even up until this point now."
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, you are one of the most talented players I've ever worked with in my career as a manager. And in my mind, I was thinking, man, I wish people could hear this, because if I tell this story to someone else, people would be like, nah, man, what's this man talking about? He's just gassing himself.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was like, for real? And he's like, yeah, honestly, I wouldn't lie to you. And then, anyway, he congratulated me, and then I left the room, and he said, good luck for the game, blah, blah, blah. Next day I woke up, something similar was in the paper.
Yeah.
In one of the papers, and again, my mom collected it, but it was like, he's one of the most talented players I've worked with. And to see that he put that out there,
Yeah.
and to see him say it to me, it meant a lot, because he's Thierry, Bergkamp, Kanu, all these kind of players that he's played with. He was like Leclerc Fontaine, that he probably worked with some of them young players as well. Like, for him to say that to me, that was like instant, like, there's no bigger compliment than that from a person, because he's worked with some of the best players in the world, some best players ever, so that meant a lot to me. I phoned my mum quickly and my dad, and I said, what you got to say now, bro? Like that. And my dad's like, shut up, man. He said, you should have played for Arsenal.
I was about to
Like,
be,
like,
I want to say, was there a little
he
bit?
just brought me down.
Was there a little bit that when he's saying that, you're like,
yeah, because he reminded me, he said to me, like, listen, I was going to play you in the League Cup that season.
he said that, innit?
Because, like, remember back then, it was like, I think it was only Arsenal and Liverpool that were playing their young youth team players in the League Cup. It was almost like, we don't care about this. This cup is to help grow the youth.
Yeah.
And it was like Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man United that were doing it at the time. So like, I knew I would have played.
Yeah.
But obviously, I just didn't have the right attitude. It wasn't the right time for me.
What can you remember of the 20 minutes of your debut for England?
I don't.
Swear down.
It's a blur, bruv. It's a blur. I just remember, like, I remember the national anthem, and I'm not a patriotic person. I've said this a few times. I'm not a patriotic person until that day.
Right.
Well, I stood there, national anthem come on, everyone's there, and I was like, I'm representing the three lions now. This is it, man. This is like, there's no higher level than this. Like, playing for your country, there's nothing like it, right? And that, it's funny because in that moment, everyone in this country is supporting me.
Yeah.
That's the only time you will have every English person supporting you.
Yeah.
When you play for your country. Apart from that, you go to different teams and, you have your team supporting you, but all the other teams, They'll give you abuse. Even some of your own team, some of your own fans sometimes give you abuse. That was the only moment where everyone in England that's, was English was supporting me.
When did you realise that as the anthem came on?
Yeah, as the anthem come on, it just come to me. I was like, rah. All these people, I can see like Man United shirts, Arsenal shirts, Chelsea. There was Cardiff fans there. There was Welsh fans at that game supporting me. It was the only time Cardiff, a Welsh people were supporting England that day when I played. So it was an unbelievable moment for me. But even that, like, it turned out to be unlucky for me as well, because I made my debut, and then that season I started getting riddled with injuries. And, there's a international break, I think February, March and April. Every time the international breaks came round, I was either injured or I was coming back from injury. And I remember like Stuart Pearce was coming to the training ground to watch me train to see if I was ready. Francesco Totti was coming to speak to me. Like, I would have got more than one cap.
I was going to ask that.
Because I was in and around it. Capello liked me. But obviously then the season finishes. Even though I made the move to the Premier League, I couldn't replicate that form again, because I just found it really hard. I mean, even though QPR, it was really nice going to the club that I actually started at, QPR, for that one season.
Full circle moment.
Everyone was there, like, Les Ferdinand, like seeing them idols when I was a 9-year-old, and then seeing them around the place, like, it was really nice. Neil Warnock, fantastic manager, fantastic person. He just didn't give a shit. He would just tell you how it is.
Yeah.
He went dressed in nothing up. That's it. And that's why I loved him, to be fair. He was a really good guy. But then a lot happened. Players coming in on big money. Players weren't being paid the same. There was a big divide in the dressing room. A lot of arguments, fights, punch-ups. Managers in the door, managers out. Like, I think we had 3 or 4 managers at once.
It was just turbulence.
It's just turbulence, and then you can't, without consistency, you can't really, managers come in, they want to bring a player out, move to the side, then you move to the side again, and it's just difficult. And I'm not making excuses, but like I said, it's hard to go into, especially the Premier League, being a club that's fighting for relegation and putting in performances. It's just hard, because you're not having, like, we're in the Championship, and for the better teams in the Premier League, you'll get like 2-3 shots a game. Cardiff, I mean, QPR is like, you're not getting a shot every game, right? And it was like one of them ones where it was just like really hard. But I really enjoyed it. Financially, it was the most money it was the most money I ever earned in my career. So I wasted, a lot of my money when I was younger, but I was still fortunate to make enough money to be comfortable after football. But that was really good. I was just a bit disappointed that I just couldn't ever get back to that point. And it was, I just think timing. Timing's everything.
In life, timing's everything. So listen, man, I've got to ask you about playing with the streets can't forget, the Adel Taarabt. What was...
Adel was funny,
because I got to touch on that, because wherever I do anything, man, talk about what was he like to train with, to play with.
Adel, do you know what the thing is? I really liked Adel. He's a character.
Yeah.
He's a character. He's so laid back. He's just one of them people that he just wants to have fun.
Right.
Like when I look at Adel, he was just like a street footballer, kind of like me. I just want to go and play football. It wasn't necessarily scoring goals all the time or assisting all the time. It's just, I want to enjoy the game. It's a purist, right? That guy, though, he would nutmeg like 10 people a day.
Yeah, but I'll be hearing that.
He just done things, and I'm like, actually, nutmegs him so easy. Like, he scored some unbelievable goals. He had some amazing dribbles, done some amazing skills. But the biggest compliment I can say to him is that he was a really nice guy, regardless of what people may say about him afterwards. I think he was another person that I think was a bit misunderstood, a bit before his time. I actually think I was before my time. Again, today's game, it's a completely different game. But a game that would suit me more, like suit players like him more. But when we was coming up, there was a bigger element of physicality, like getting whacked. You could do that. But yeah, Adel was proper. He was a real player. Do you know, there's one goal that it doesn't. I mean, the goal that it always gets shown is the one when he like drags it, pops it through, goes through someone, bangs it. Yeah, but there was a goal that he scored for QPR. and it was unreal for me. He dribbled past someone and he's running towards the box, and then he rolled it and just hit it with the outside of his foot.
I think I've seen
So
that.
it went in the goal so slowly, no one even expected it, and there was just a silence, and it was like, did that go in? And it's in, and he's off celebrating. I was like, that was an unbelievable goal, because as much as that one that he scored where he's popped it and gone in and smashed it as hard as he could, you see that, right? You see other players that you see it less, maybe not the nutmeg bit, but you see less talented players that get the ball on the half outside the box and just hit it, right? But that one that he did, where he's dribbled past players, then he's rolled it and just caressed it, that is pure technique. You don't see them kind of goals often. But you see goals from that halfway line often. I mean, sorry, the edge of the box often. But them kind of goals where he just hit it with the outside of his foot is just effortless. I've seen Modric do it. Do you know, like where he's like, it was unbelievable goal. He's a player, baller.
Crazy thing is, think about, but you was on the pitch with probably arguably the most iconic moment with the Aguerooo.
That was crazy,
talk me through that real quick.
Do you know what? That was just a mix of that was such an emotional day, man. Because you know what, we played, you got it here as well. Like we played them earlier on in the season, and it was we lost 3-2 in that game, and I scored in that game. That was a really nice game to play in that game. But then obviously this is the biggest game of the season for us and for them, because we had to get some kind of result. I think we had to be better than the team above us or something like that. We had to get a result, we had to get a result, or we had to have the same result as the team.
As the team, yeah.
That was on the same points. Because I think our goal difference. I can't even remember, to be honest. But that was just, you know what the thing was. So when we signed our contracts, right, all the players that came in at that point was on massive contracts, right, and the bonuses were massive.
Okay,
right.
So
let's just paint that picture.
Yeah,
let's just paint that picture to begin with, right, and then relegation. Salary cut. So there's a lot on the line here. Financial and your status to be a Premier League team. Game starts, tight game. And we felt pretty confident because earlier on we had a really good game for them at home. And we lost 3-2. So it was tight. So we knew on our day,
you can give them a game.
We could give them a game, right? And started off again tight. Goal scoring and all this kind of stuff, but I'll just fast forward to the end. So obviously now I'm on the pitch, we're winning the game, but because Joey Barton's had he's been red carded, but there was a big commotion on the pitch. There was a lot of extra time.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm on the pitch, and all I remember, it's a blur. This is a big blur for me, by the way, as well. This is like the England. It's a big blur. All I remember is Mark Bowen came out on the pitch and went, "We're safe." But because I'm at the halfway line and the rest of the team are defending because Man City are trying to push forward, I was one of the only players that knew that he said we were safe. So I'm on the pitch, probably the only player that knows that we're officially safe now.
Yeah.
They scored, right, to make it 2-2. We have kickoff. I remember I turned around to Mark Hughes. I said, "What should I do?" He said, "Just kick the ball in the corner." So I kicked the ball. If you see that, you see how close that went to the corner flag from the centre. I put it right in the corner. All I see was Joe Hart breeze over, take flick, boom, boom, boom. Gets to Balotelli, turns, knocks it off. Aguerooo, bang, knocked it in. And like all the players, like obviously we lost the game. All the players fell to the floor. But in my mind, I was like, we stayed up.
Yeah.
We stayed up. We're good.
What was the energy like?
It was weird because like they were celebrating, but we were celebrating, but we lost the game, right? So like we were celebrating. We've kept our Premier League status. Everyone's got big bonuses. Like it was just like one of them things. Like we're celebrating. Like we came across Nasri. We used to go to Malmunia quite a bit in Knightsbridge, and there was like Nasri. Some of the the African players would go there, smoke shisha and all that, have a few drinks, especially for the Champions League games. So we'll go there and watch games during the day. I mean, during the night. So like we had relationships with them.
Yeah.
But then like we was buzzing, so we were celebrating, they were celebrating, and it was just like a weird scenario. Like we was in the thingy, we was in their dressing room, they was like I put my hands on a Premier League trophy, like crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Then like yeah, it was just one of them games that it was just like a whirlwind of events. But I mean, I've heard some people say it was a fix and it was this and it was that, but it was
It
like one of
wasn't.
them games where it was just, there was so much on the line, like for the team, for individuals, that it was hard to like focus on anything. There was so much pressure on it. And then when we got told, when I see that we was safe,
Yeah.
it was just pure relief.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you see the way the boys at the back were still defending, they were throwing their bodies on the line, they were throwing themselves into tackles. And then you see when Aguerooo scored, everyone just falls down like, we're down. But then it's like, we're not. We stayed up. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it was just jubilant, like from both sides, because we both achieved our goals at the beginning of the season, which was, I mean, our goal was to stay up.
To stay out.
Their goal was to try and win the league, and they won the league and we stayed up. So we was both celebrating together.
So you helped them stay out from relegation, then you go on loan to Sheffield Wednesday. What?
So like the next season, I picked up an injury. And again, it was one of those situations where Harry Redknapp came in. I hadn't played. I picked up an ankle injury. And it was, it was one of them injuries that was weird, like bone bruising, but I couldn't put weight through my ankle. It was just hurting me all the time. Anyway, Dave Jones was the manager at Sheffield Wednesday. And if I'm honest, there was loads of championship clubs that was asking for me to go there. Ones that was at the top of the league, like everywhere. Sheffield Wednesday wasn't. But I went to Sheffield Wednesday because I felt I owed it to Dave Jones. But even when I went there, it was like, I think Sheffield Wednesday were paying a lot of my wages at the time. And I just couldn't get fit. I just didn't feel good. And I was playing games unfit. I had like an injection a few times where I was just trying to play because I want to play well to get myself fit to get back to QPR and play well. I wanted to play well because Dave Jones has brought me in. And I want to play well for him as well. I owe him a lot. But I wanted to play well because Sheffield Wednesday it's an iconic club, right? It's got
big
history.
club, man.
And I wanted to play well because of that, but I didn't end up playing well. I didn't perform nowhere near what I could, but that was down to injury.
Yeah.
Ross Barkley was there. He was you could see him blossoming. Mikel Antonio was there. He's the rawest player I've ever seen.
Yeah,
but
I've been told that.
He's effective with his strength and his pace, and he's just relentless. He just keeps on working hard. But Ross Barkley was a player. You could see it then, bow-footed, glide past players. He didn't have the maturity that he's had great seasons, but that season at Luton, I think we see the best of him.
Yeah.
Because he's shone in a poor team.
Yeah.
And I think that's credit to him. But yeah, it was just an awkward time for me. And I was disappointed because when you have a bad season at a club, or when you leave a club and you've got fans saying you're this, you're that, they don't know the reasons why. There's reasons to certain things, right? And as far as they're concerned, when I go on the pitch, I'm 100%.
Yeah.
I wasn't even close to it. I wasn't even 70%. I was just trying to get out there to help a team, help a manager that's trying to do something, but I couldn't because I just wasn't fit.
So towards the latter stages, you're now, so there's both Japan and Thailand. That's like 8 years collectively, right?
Yeah. So
was that planned? 8 years?
Definitely not, B. Definitely not. So what happened was I got offered, so my contract finishes at QPR now, right? So that's the most money I ever earned. But then I didn't want to take a hit on money. So like throughout my career, I was lucky that I never earned less money. It was either the same or more. Right. So I didn't want to take a hit on my QPR salary. So like my agent came to me one day and was like, listen, they're going to pay you a lot of money to go and play there. Would you be up for it? And I was just like, right, listen, at this point, I just want to take...
How old are you now? Are you
30?
30, yeah.
31 maybe? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But like, maybe 30, 31, yeah. But at this point, I'm at the end of my career, right? I'm in my 30s, right? So like now I'm thinking, okay, I love football still. I've got so much passion for football. I've even got it now. Like we always talk about football,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, but I have to think about my family. I have to think about life after football.
After football, yeah.
Do I have enough money?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I made that move purely for money reasons,
Financial purpose, yeah.
financial gain. And do you know what? To be fair, Bangkok, lovely city. Thailand, Thai people, lovely people. But the standard of football then was just poor.
Right.
And to the point where it was like we used to train at 5 o'clock in the evening. I felt like I was on holiday. I was always just sunbathing by the pool or doing something like it just didn't seem real. And because the standard wasn't good enough, I didn't push myself.
You didn't have to.
Yeah, I didn't have to. And then I remember like one day, like mate, living in Thailand it's great, but like me and my wife, we would go for a massage for like 2 hours, treatments and stuff like that, and then I'll say, oh, that'll be $15.
Yeah.
I'd give him like a $50 tip,
Yeah.
just to say like
just
thank
to
you
say
and like
thank
yeah,
you.
because they work really hard to make you feel good, you know. And it's like I always wanted to, you know, help and give back. But anyway, I went back home one day. I was in a really bad mood because I just felt unhappy
Right.
with football, and I was just like, this ain't me, man. I'm like, I'm not enjoying football. Yeah, I'm getting paid, but I'm just not enjoying it. Like, and I said to my wife at that point, I said, I think I'm gonna go and just tell them that, can you terminate my contract, even though it's million,
Yeah.
right? And I was just like, I just want to terminate my contract. The next day, literally the next day, after me and my wife had this conversation, I went to the hotel, and it was a hotel where we would have like team meals and stuff like that. And I was sitting in there, I was early, I was sitting in reception, and there was this guy there. And he was half Japanese, half English. And I was sitting down talking to him. I said, so what are you doing anyway? And he's like, oh, I'm an agent, Japanese. And I was like, oh. I said, what's it like there? And he's like, it's like it's the best league in Asia. And I was like, that's what I got told when I come to Thailand. Like, come on, man. I said, just give it to me real.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, seriously, it's the best league in Thailand. And he said, like, oh, Diego Forlan's there. And I was like, Diego Forlan's there?
Okay.
He's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, I know Diego Forlan,
Yeah.
proper baller. And then he's like, yeah. It's like, would you be interested in coming to play? I said, to be honest, I've just told them, like, I'm going to tell them that I want to leave. I want to tear up my contract. He said, you want to tear up your contract and leave? And I said, yeah. And he said, so would you come and play in Japan? And I was like, I'm not sure, man. I said, I've come here because I got sold something.
Yeah, I got
It's
sold
not
the
good.
dream.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm thinking about going back to England. It's like, do me a favor. Sort out your situation in Thailand, then give me a call. So I was like, all right then. So within the next 2-3 weeks, I've agreed with the Thai team, Muntong, that I want to terminate my contract. So I said to him, you don't have to pay me nothing. Again, it was that like Coventry situation. You don't have to pay me nothing, but I need to leave for my own development again.
Right, yeah.
I need to fulfill something in me. Like I've got a burning desire to still go out there and play and produce, right? So like, anyway, I called the guy and I says, listen, is there an opportunity in Japan for me? And he said, yeah, I've spoken to a few teams. He said that I think there was 3 teams and one in like the championship. And I was like, okay. I said, listen, one thing I do need to do, I need to come there and I need to see Japan and go to some football matches before I commit. So I'm not making the same mistake of like just going somewhere blind for money now. So he was like, okay then. So I went there with my wife to Tokyo and we stayed there for about 10 days, fell in love with the city.
Yeah.
I was like, this place is the best city on earth. The food is super clean, respectful, safe. Like everything, every box, it just
ticked every box.
right? So I was like, I can do that. I can live there. So this is in November because in Japan it was a calendar season. So went back home and like from that period, from that like mid-November till the end of December, January, because pre-season starts in Japan in like mid-January.
Okay.
Because the season starts in March.
Okay.
So that point we was talking a lot, and then it got to the beginning of January. He said, "Come over. We need to start talking to teams." So I flew there by myself, met up with like 3 teams: Marinos. There was a team called Shonan Belmar, Cerezo Osaka, and then this team called Jubilee Iwata. But they was in the championship.
Right.
But over there, it's not like it is here. So the clubs that are owned, they're sponsored. So like Panasonic will own a team, Yamaha own a team,
Okay.
Mitsubishi own a team, Toyota own a team. Depending on how big your business is, depends on the budget of your club,
Right.
right?
Right.
So like you could be one of the best teams, but you might have one of the smallest budgets.
Smallest budget,
right?
Smallest sponsor.
Yeah. So like I went there and I had to earn good money. But I knew that I wasn't going to earn anywhere near Thailand and probably not Premier League. But I needed to earn good money where I can save, invest, but live comfortably. So I spoke to these 2 teams. They offered me some contracts, and then I went to meet the manager of Jubilee. And it was funny because I was sitting in this agent's apartment, and it was like 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
He gets a call, and he's this Jubilee manager. He's like, "I'd like to meet Jay." Okay, cool. When do you want to meet him? Like, we can come tomorrow. He's like, "Now." It's like, it's 11 o'clock at night, bruv. It's like he's in this hotel at the top of this place, and there's like over there. Yeah, there's nightclubs, but there's these bars that are like private bars where you go in and there's music being played, karaoke, all these kind of things. He wouldn't have a meeting with me. I was like, I went there. And we sat down. We was meant to talk for half an hour. We ended up speaking for like 2 hours.
Is he? Yeah.
And he said, "I can't talk about money right now, but roughly what are you looking for?" So I mean, I won't say, but he said, "Okay, I think I can deal with this." So we had some like sake at the time. I was like, "Sake, man, what's this, man?" It's sake. We had that, and then we kind of like gentleman shake.
Yeah.
And you know, like, because I'm from England, I'm thinking, what's a gentleman shake? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But he said to me, "Listen, we got this Brazilian player on trial. His trial finishes next week, but we're gonna sign you. I'm gonna speak to you. I think I can get this deal over the line, but you have my word that we're gonna sign you." But then went back, and I was buzzing. I was happy. Literally a few days later, the Brazilian player's trial finished, come down, pre-season started. Boom. That was it. Some of my contract was in. Some of my. I'll tell you. One of my bonuses. You'll love this. $10,000 goal bonus.
Per goal.
Per goal.
No wonder you still look young, cuz.
10,000 goal.
You know when the managers ain't got no stress.
When the thing is, this is me. I was like, per goal, per game as well. Like any game. He said any competitive game. I was like, all right. So, and I bonuses for going up, like all these kind of things. So I added up where it would be like mid to low level Prem wages.
But
I'm like, I'm good with that because I'm at 30, good. Got 2-year deal, 1-year option, which is great because when you're in your 30s in England, it's almost like, boy, you're 31, I'll only give you a 1-year deal.
Yeah, 100%.
No footballer wants. You want a bit of security at least. So anyway, that season I scored 20. Boom, straight off. And we got promotion. Like that, yeah. So I was like, that was a good season. Right? Straight away. And like they treat you so, one thing I will say to players, yeah, if you have the opportunity to go and play football in Japan and you're willing to embrace yourself in their culture, and try and go there and actually be a winner, you will get treated so good there, and you'll have a great career there, which can take you to your late 30s. And that's what I did. It was the best decision. I think the best decision I did was go Arsenal, start Arsenal, leave QPR, go Arsenal. Then again happened with Cardiff, doing that. This was my third best decision I ever made in my career because it gave me longevity. And I could play there, and they didn't care about age. They cared about performance.
Right.
So like I was playing there, I was really enjoying it. I was scoring goals. I was, the lifestyle was amazing. The food, everything was it was so good there, and I was enjoying it. And I ended up like earning more and more money, And until like I came to the end of my career, and even then, like I was 39, COVID happened. I was by myself. My family were here. Um, Again, I love Japanese people. I love the teams that I played for. Jubilee Iwata, Nanami gave me the opportunity. He played football in Italy. He gave me the opportunity. Then I went to Hokkaido, Sapporo, played there. Another great club, great city, and I just had a great relationship with the Japanese people. But then COVID happened. My wife and kid, my new son. He was like, so he's 7 now. So at the time, we had been in Japan for like 3 years, and then obviously my wife got pregnant. We had a baby, and then so from 2 years old, 3 years old, I see them twice in 2 months. I mean, sorry,
Twice
2
in-
months in 2 years.
In 2 years, yeah.
Right. So like that was like impossible for me, having my son FaceTime me crying.
yes. Yeah.
Where's my daddy? Why aren't you coming home? Like all that. It was just heartbreaking for me.
Got too much.
Because again, like when I grew up, I didn't grow up with my biological dad. My stepdad that raised me, that I regard as my dad, he gets all the props in the world.
Right.
So I didn't want to be an absent father to my son, even though me and his mum was still solidly together. I wanted to be there all the time for him.
Right.
They offered me a 2-year deal when I was 39, and I said to them, "Listen, guys, unless the COVID rules change, I'm not going to come back."
What was the COVID there?
COVID over there was really strict. Like it wasn't here. Like you go out, people will go outside and the police will just tell you go home.
Yeah.
Like over there, it ain't no joke. They're gonna like give you some kind of sanctions, fine you, and like it's proper. Like, and because of the culture over there, there's like compliance tests. Like every person in Japan has to do a compliance test every year, right? So like when the government made laws or made rules, people abided by the rules. Right. So it wasn't like I'm just gonna be, I'm just gonna go outside. I don't care what they say. So I was in the house all the time, Netflix, Prime, like all that. No football going on.
Proper isolated.
The only places you could go to were the park and golf. That's when I picked up the golf club again and started. You know what? Let me just try and play this because I like it.
Yeah.
Let me just try and see how good I can get, and then that's where the golf, the love for golf come. Golf podcast come. But they offered me 2 years when I was 39, and I didn't do it because I felt, you know what? I've achieved everything that I wanted to achieve in the game. I played in the Premier League, played in Serie A, played in the equivalent of Europa League, played for my country. I'm playing in Asia now. I've earned a lot of money. I've done everything that I set out to do. So I'm going to retire on my terms. And I remember my dad said that to me. Don't let football retire you. Retire on your own terms. Right? And that's what I was able to do. So I turned them down and I said, listen, guys, thank you so much for the experience. I'll never forget you guys. I'll never forget the fans. But I got to go home now, retire from football, spend time with my family and try and raise a young man, a young boy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's my focus now. And that's my goals. So, yeah, man, I just decided that I'm going to call it a day at 39.
You know, the crazy thing is I knew this conversation would be because, like I said, man, we're steeped in knowing each other since we was kids. But the one thing that stands out, one, your resilience. And I think the greater thing is, brother, you did it your way. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter your trials, your tribulations, and your successes. When you look back at it, when you hear your story, and like you said, you pass on when you're mentoring to the next generation, is that ultimately you still got to stand 10 toes on your convictions and do it your way. So, brother, you should be proud. I knew I'd be inspired by this conversation. So, my brother, thank you for giving me the time to be able to...
And let me say to you as well, bro, because I want to give you your flowers, because even though we didn't speak for a long period of time, I always respected you as a player, that you carved out your path. Because I remember when you had your knees bandaged up when we were playing five-a-sides, people are saying, how can this boy play football? Like all these kind of things, you're there, you achieved greatness.
Blessings.
You know, you carved out a full career for yourself.
Blessings,
Not many people can say they carved out a full career for themselves.
We played to the late, boy.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, not many people can say that. So, like, from afar, when I was seeing you pop up on the screen, scoring goals, captain of clubs, leading people, I was like, yeah, man, I'm proud of you as well, because
Blessings, man.
you're from the ends, you're from my area.
Yeah.
North London, and it's like I'm always proud to see people, especially people from North London, because like, and that's why I like my boy Ethan Nwanieri, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I love him. He's from the ends as well. Like, and I feel like when you being from North London, when I see other people from North London doing really well, I'm proud of them too, man.
But blessings, real talk. To be fair, it was our era, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Our era was, we had to make it, or we had to make something of what we had. Do you know what I'm saying? But love every single time. Blessings on blessings.
Love.
All right, dope, yeah.